When the winds of fall roll fresh down the plains, and trees and grass gather frozen rain, then warriors will meet on a field of green to settle the score, to build a team. The ball is snapped, the play is run, the men fight on till the final gun. The mothers wait, and young men dream about the day they'll wear the crimson and cream.
Rock y'all, non-stop y'all, to the beat y'all, the body rock y'all, so let's rock y'all, non-stop y'all, to the beat y'all, the body rock y'all.
Welcome to Memorial Stadium in Owen Field. This is Oklahoma football.
Welcome to the campus of the University of Oklahoma as Fox Sports Net proudly presents Oklahoma Sooner football. This evening, the Arkansas State Indians are in town to face the Oklahoma Sooners. Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Land along with Dean Blevins. Glad to have you with us again here this week in Norman. Well, Dean, the temperatures have cooled off, but the action might be a little bit hotter. This Arkansas State team can play.
You know, the Indians, Bill, last week should have won a big game. They went back to North Carolina State, to a club that's trying to turn it around, and they went to double overtime. Probably should have won that game. North Carolina State goes on today and wins on the road playing Indiana.
And one of the reasons they come here with some hope is I don't think that they think that they're going to be intimidated by this big crowd at OU. Part of the reason for that might be they have an outstanding tailback in Jonathan Adams.
Jonathan Adams is a guy that was one of the top 3 recruits at his position coming out of Osceola, Arkansas. And there are his numbers from a week ago. This guy weighs 220 pounds. He's thick. He's a bruiser. He's always moving forward. He is a really good-looking back, and, you know, he could play for a lot of people.
Big challenge maybe for the Oklahoma defense. Well, their linebackers should be up to it. They've got a stud in Rocky Kalmus, who had a great week last week. He'll slide over to his normal position this week because Torrance Marshall, who was suspended a week ago, is back.
Everything you said's right. And what that means is that the middle linebacker position is Marshall, but here's Rocky Kalmus. He moves back outside to the weak side linebacker. This guy plays through pain. He's a terrific guy to have on your team. Torrance Marshall is a guy that Bob Stoops said, you know, we really didn't miss a lot without him. But I like guys like Torrance Marshall who are about 6'3", 248, 39-inch vertical, the best on the team, and, you know, they can lift the building.
Let's not forget the offensive side. Josh Heupel is back, and will be back in just a moment. Heupel saying he had an off game last week. He only threw for 274 yards. Stay with us. It's the Sooners and Arkansas State in just a moment. A sellout crowd in Norman greets the hometown Sooners as Oklahoma, fresh off a season-opening win over UTEP, takes the field here in Norman. Head coach Bob Stoops in his second year as the Sooners will face Arkansas State. Bill Land and Dean Blevins from high atop Memorial Stadium down on Owen Field. Let's take it to the third man of the crew, Gary Reasons.
Bill, quite a bit of a contrast from a week ago. It was 106 degrees here down here on the field at kickoff a week ago. A very pleasant 86 or so here tonight. I think the fans are going to enjoy this quite a bit more this evening. You know, about these two teams tonight, you talked about the defensive side of the ball for the University of Oklahoma. Well, don't worry, because Josh Heupel's going to throw it plenty tonight. Last week, they passed it around to 9 different receivers who caught balls for this team. Expect a lot of the fireworks to go on again this evening. I talked to both coaches before the ball game, and for University of Arkansas State, the coach told me that they were going to come here and they were going to play this not like a scrimmage, but they were coming here to win. So Joe Hollis knows his club has potential because they played very well last week against North Carolina State. And Bob Swoops, hey, he said his team played well last week. They're going to build on this thing this week and try to be a lot better ball club overall. He wants to win this ball game, and he wants to celebrate the win, not only for that, but to celebrate his 40th birthday. Bill?
Yeah, and he liked to make it a happy one. One thing about Coach Stoops, no matter how excited the fans are, and they are plenty, he has his feet firmly planted on this turf here, Dean. Always looking to get better.
Yeah, he is. He's a man about business is what his middle name should be. But so far, so good with what Bob Stoops has done. And just look in the stands if you have any question about that.
Nick Gato kicks it off to Oklahoma. And at the 10, the 20-yard line, and brought down. Forward progress will be stopped just shy of the 20. And Oklahoma will take it over there after the return that time by Jones. Rather by Savage. And Antoine Savage will join the huddle with Josh Heupel as he brings the Sooners out here. Oklahoma at 1-0, ranked number 20, actually dropped a notch after the victory over UTEP. And Heupel, 274 yards passing last week. Had 10 drops from his receivers, though, so look for him to do even better this week. There's a look at last season. The offensive line, Bubba Bertram got a game ball for his performance last week and engaged on Tuesday. And 1st and 10, the incompletion as OU tries to hit Griffin. The backs and receivers, besides Griffin, Latrell, Savage, the leading receiver last week with 5 grabs for 87 yards. As Heupel will bring him back up here for 2nd and 10. And then we'll set you up with a look at the Arkansas State defensive group. At the 20, the Sooners, 2nd down. Heupel's got his man, 1st down across the 30 as Wolfo makes the grab, his 2nd of the season. Andre, a sophomore from Denver, Colorado. Here's the defensive front for Arkansas State. A 3-4 with Miller and Kellum, the senior anchors, on the ends for the Indians. The linebackers, led by the team captain, Segun Azabeda. He is an outstanding talent. And in the secondary, look for Headley to possibly not see as much action tonight. He's got a shoulder problem. Bowens is a two-way performer for this club, as is Woolfolk, who made that catch for OU. 1st and 10 at the 34, on the ground. Griffin bowls across the 40, got 9, and OU is moving it from the get-go. Dean, what about the OU game plan tonight?
Well, the game plan is to really go with a lot of all-purpose plays to begin the game, and that means plays that you don't have to come up and audible out of unless you just see something radical. Plays that work both as runs and passes, and they want to try to get into rhythm. They didn't do that very well last week, and in fact, I think they had 4 3-and-outs in the first half, which was very unusual.
There's Heupel's work from last week, and you see 50%, but he expects better at that, as does the staff. Here's another 1st down for Oklahoma. Latrell, last week just had 1 carry, 1 reception. Seth, the senior from Muskogee, moves those chains as the Sooners move it into Arkansas State territory.
That was a power set that you don't see much out of Oklahoma. And Seth Latrell, one of the statistics that people overlook a lot is he averaged 6.2 yards per carry last year every time he touched the ball. This time, even more than that.
7 touchdowns a year ago. 1st and 10 at the 47. Savage, the man in motion. Heupel, complete at the 45-yard line. Josh Norman is brought down, a junior from Midland, Texas. He had 2 catches a week ago. Out there covering for Arkansas State, number 8, Sean Mitchell.
Well defended here. Oklahoma executes this play very, very well as they get it out as near the boundary. And Sean Mitchell, Bill, that's a play that if a defender is not in the correct position, it has a chance to go for 6 very quickly.
Mitchell, 9 tackles last week. Arkansas State was riddled, though, by the NC State passing game, giving up 397 yards. Heupel sets up out of the shotgun here, 2nd and 8.
This is an audible. He sees something he wants downfield.
Looking that way, going to keep the football, got to now. Looking for a block, and he's tugged down at the 41-yard line by Ozabeda.
Heupel is more agile this year. He's lost some weight, his feet are quicker, and he's going to be a better runner. I don't know, the best thing about Josh Heupel would be the decisions that he makes. On that one, I don't know that Josh Heupel made the correct decision. You watch him buy time only because the secondary does a great job of keeping Oklahoma under wraps. He has two receivers he could go to, and Josh keeps it short of the first down, and more importantly, he exposes himself to potential injury. Oklahoma can't afford that.
3rd and 4, the 41. There's the first down to Savage as he dives to the 30-yard line. Antoine Savage, a sophomore from Albany, Georgia, 6'1", 190, had 31 grabs last year, and Russell Seaton brought him down, a senior from Memphis, an inside backer.
Watch number 6, Savage, on this play. Watch him. We're going to stop it after he catches the ball on a 3rd and 6. Right there, he's got another yard to go for the first down. Many players would do this. Watch him go north and south. He gets upfield, gets the first down. Smart football play.
Got to know your directions. He does. 1st and 10 at the 31. Up the middle, Griffin stumbling and slips a ball the 23-yard line. And Quentin Griffin, the sophomore from Houston, who last week had 9 carries and 28 yards, but he was overshadowed by Works. He's ready tonight.
Well, we mentioned the 6.2 by Luttrell last year, 6'5" by Quentin Griffin. Bill, his thighs are enormous. Great leg strength there, even though he stumbled.
2nd and 1, Griffin not going to get it. Good pursuit that time by the ASU defense, led by Joe Jones.
We talked about what Mark Mangino was hoping to get accomplished offensively here early in this game. The other thing he's wanting to do is establish a running presence. Last week, Ronaldo Works came off the bench and had just a terrific game as a true freshman. But he had to work for it, and overall, I think they were displeased with their running.
3rd and 1 at the 22. Sooners' first possession. Heupel keeps it. All he was thinking was first down, almost went for a TD. Let's go down to Gary Reasons. Gary?
Well, Bill, you talked about Mark Mangino, the offense coordinator here at the University of Oklahoma. This week he made a comment that he felt like this defense they were facing this week, the ASU defense, was a lot faster than what the UTEP team brought here a week ago. He said that type of a defense with more speed could pose more problems for the Sooner offense, but so far it looks like he's got a pretty good game plan to go against a 3-4 defense. Bill?
Arkansas State last week giving up 539 yards, but that is a bit misleading because they have some athletes. Heupel trying to get away from one on a 1st and 10 at the 20, and a little bit underthrown and got rid of it.
Protection, not what Oklahoma needed at that time on that play, and Heupel, instead of being able to get around the corner and square his shoulders up and be a run to pass or throw, most likely to throw, ended up having to run backwards on that play, and it's never an easy throw running backwards.
Intended for Ronaldo Works, last week's rushing star. 2nd and 10 at the 20 for the Sooners. Luttrell, the lone back with Heupel. Josh, great protection now, moves out. Finds a man, complete at the 10, and bumped at the 6-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal, Oklahoma. Seaton made the tackle.
Watch up here at the top, Woolfolk. He will buy time. He is out to the sideline. He sees Josh Heupel scrambling. Woolfolk finds the seam in there. He's running against zone coverage, so all you have to do is sit in a pocket.
Woolfolk 16 yards on that play. OU comes back with Luttrell. He slams his way down near the 2-yard line.
A lot of people call him Woolfolk, and I've been accused of that because I have trouble saying Woolfolk. Can you help me with that one?
That's I'm going to tell you.
I'm going to
cable or not.
I'm going to call him Andre, and you're going to call him a lot because he is one of the players that Oklahoma believes has a chance to be a 10 on a 10 scale, and these coaches grade him pretty tough around here.
69 plays last week total, including special teams and defense. Luttrell trying to get in inside the 1-yard line on a 2nd and goal. 3rd down coming up now as Oklahoma's had it from the opening kick, 9:41 to go.
Bill, Oklahoma has a big size advantage. Its offensive line much bigger than a smallish defensive front from Arkansas State, even though they're quick. Last week they sneaked it across. I wouldn't be surprised to see this one sneaked right over the right side is where he goes and he gets in.
Thank you very much. Arkansas State wishes they were listening. Oklahoma
by cable
on the board. It was available in their locker room. And the Sooners with Heupel getting the TD. And Oklahoma up 6-0. Tim Duncan will come on for the PAT. He was 7 of 7 a week ago against UTEP. Fletcher the holder. Duncan's kick. He stays perfect on the year. 9:25 left in the first. Oklahoma. Pretty good looking drive. Heupel takes it in. 7-0.
Josh Heupel knows that Mike Skinner weighs 299 and he loves his center, Bubba Burcham, so he goes on a quick count. It's hard to keep a guy out of the end zone, even though that play was defended fairly well. Nice job.
Heupel just kept pushing, found the little crease, and got into the end zone. He's not listening to us, I hope.
Bill, last week there were 10 drops, as you mentioned earlier, and there you see the numbers, 80 yards, 15 plays, a great start for Oklahoma. But we're going to try to keep tonight balls that are catchable. And on that first series, there were 6 passes attempted by Josh Heupel. 4 of them were completed. 1 of them was off target, the first one to Griffin. 1 was a little bit low, under a little pressure. So really, he had 1 throw out of 6 that was not in a catchable range. That's a good start.
Robert Kilo, the deep man, along with James Hickenbotham for Arkansas State. Duncan with the boot. Hickenbotham will take it in a knee, and he'll come out to the 20-yard line.
It's funny how people can get upset about a quarterback not being accurate when in years past, if a guy could complete a pass, they thought he was Johnny Unitas.
How times have changed. Arkansas State's got a guy complete a pass. Cleo Lemon, a 4-year starter last year for nearly 1,600 yards. Their offensive line, a veteran group. 4 of the 5 over 300 pounds. Kilo is their best receiver, but Hickenbotham has got great speed. They'd like to get him the ball more often tonight.
They're a pro set to start right here with these 2 guys. They'll run a lot of eye back. They'd love to hammer it up inside with Jonathan Adams. Love to be balanced, but they'll probably run it more than they throw it tonight if they have their way.
Lemon dumps it over the middle for a 6-yard pickup to the 26-yard line on first down as Oklahoma's defense makes the stop on Walker. The Sooner defensive group, Heineke Fisher making his 34th appearance. Klein, a great start as a redshirt freshman last week. We mentioned Marshall is back. Kalmus was a star a week ago, as well as Steffen. And in the secondary for the Sooners, Thatcher and Williams had INTs last week. Roy taking his for 6. 2nd and 4 at the 26 for the Arkansas State Indians, down 7-0. The handoff, Adams got 3 to the 29. It'll be 3rd and 1 for the Indians.
More than you would like to give up when you have an 8-man forcing unit, an 8-man front. Oklahoma had committed that many to stop the run, and they picked up enough to get it into 3rd and short.
Roger Steffen made the tackle, senior from El Reno, Oklahoma. And the penalty and the decision for Arkansas State.
Offside on the defense. First down.
Well, last week, Arkansas State's the team that had the penalty problem. They had 14 penalties for 116 yards, and Joe Hollis, the veteran coach, his 4th year there, said, we've got to be better than that. We got stuck in some alignment problems, but he said, we've got to clean up our act. Tonight it's Oklahoma that gives them a break here in a first down.
They didn't have penalty problems last year, so that was probably an abnormally high number, particularly when they were in overtime.
Quick look on the first down pass and a pickup of about 5 again. Rocky Kalmus makes the tackle as the Indians move the football. They're throwing it the right side to Hickenbotham. And James is a 5'10 sophomore from Roanoke, Virginia, with blazing speed. And it's a little play like that where they hope he can beat somebody and go the distance.
Yeah, that'll be fun to watch tonight because they do have speed out there. Oklahoma does a very good job of, once a receiver catches the ball, of not only gang tackling, but swarming to the ball very, very quickly. Derek Strait, number 2, did a nice job there.
2nd and 6. Fake the reverse, going deep, and incomplete. Mentioned different shuffles going on. Jack Wright is a senior center for Arkansas State. Got some type of an injury problem. Gary can update us on that. Gary?
Well, Bill, Jack Wright is going to play this ball game. He's got a viral infection in his left eye. He has very limited vision. He has a blurred vision on his left eye. They were thinking about holding him out of the ball game, but they're allowing him to play tonight. Hey, he's a senior, the leader of that offensive line up there, so he's in there in his ball game. Bill?
Very nice job there by J.T. Thatcher, the Oklahoma free safety. Burned last week a time or two, although he was a very good hitter. But I think he learned his lesson.
Hope he did as well as we did sitting down watching tape with Mike Stoops yesterday. He was emphatic about what needed to get better. 3rd and 6 from the 35, and the flag stopped the play and the crowd as they were trying to spur the OU defense on. It appears it is on Oklahoma.
Dead ball. Snap infraction on the offense.
On the Indians, beg your pardon. That'll make it even more difficult. Joe Hollis, familiar with Oklahoma, one-time offensive coordinator of the University of Tulsa. He hooked up with John Cooper and was with John Cooper at Ohio State until he came to Arkansas State. His 4th year, he's 14-30-1. He's also athletic director now.
His job's safe.
And also probably not going to play an OU caliber team next year when he gets a hold of that schedule. 3rd and 11. The dump is complete, but going nowhere. Good pursuit by Oklahoma. Torrance Marshall stayed right with that play, and Oklahoma will get it back as they'll have to kick it away.
Well, what that is a great job of anticipation by Brent Venables and/or Mike Stoops calling defensive sets. They got the pressure on the quarterback, and then they had a terrific play one-on-one by Torrance Marshall. Defense wins that one. Look at this formation. Very unusual set here for Arkansas State.
Andy Shatley is the punter. He's also the backup quarterback. Keep that in mind later. Certainly not likely to be faking in this situation, but he can throw it too. 4th and 13 from the 28. Thatcher, the deep man, and the bounce goes out of bounds near the 25-yard line. And the Sooners will take over there with a 7-0 lead. And stay with us on Fox Sports Net. Beg your pardon, folks. I made the mistake most people did here, considering that was going to be an extra point. It was a 24-yard field goal attempt by Duncan. We'll take a look at it and how it missed.
Ben Painter, perfect snap. Fletcher, perfect hole. It was a pull. Duncan knew better than to put his hands up. I think he was begging at that point.
Hoping.
This guy's going to be a good kicker. He'd made all 4 from a week ago. What that means, though, is that the drop by Griffin is a 7-point play. Should be 14-0.
See if the OU defense rallies with it 1st and 10 at the 20 for Arkansas State. The pitch to Adams. He slides to the 21. It'll be 2nd and 9 after the pickup of 1. Jonathan Adams, 4.9 per carry last week against NC State. Thatcher made the tackle. Adams, the first parade All-American. And you look at all the recruiting lists, that is certainly one that is widely recognized around the country. The first of that stature to come to Arkansas State.
And it was all about real estate, Bill. It was location, location, location. And I said Osceola, it's Osceola. I should know, I was born over in Mountain.
And not too far from the Jonesboro campus of Arkansas State.
45 minutes, I think, and that was almost a lateral.
Last year, Adams 680 yards rushing for 6 touchdowns. He was injured some in his freshman year.
All right, this ball cannot go backwards. We'll see where the ball is thrown from. That ball is a backwards pass. That's a lateral. It should be a free ball.
Kilo, the intended receiver, and he reacted right. He picked up as if it was, and they quickly whistled it dead. Take a look at our in-sync look here as quarterback Lemon brings him out on 3rd and 9. Ball on the 21. Kilo on the reception. OU had it smelled. There's a flag, though, after the tackle, or as the tackle was being made at the 22-yard line. Let's see what's up.
Generally on that type of play, it's a holding call. Oklahoma had it defended very well, and that'll be declined and a punt.
So the Sooner defense bails or does its job.
On the offense, decline, 4th down.
Thatcher will go back to return the kick.
Bill, if penalties in a ball game The most called penalties are for false starts. They average a little over 3 per game, and the next is for holding, where you have 3 per game, and that one fit right in that pattern for where that flag was thrown.
Shatley will punt it away. Stands on his 9-yard line, the line of scrimmage at 23. Thatcher's on his own 20, own 30, I should say. As Andy Shatley, who's from Jonesboro, short kick at 35. Thatcher went right by one, cross midfield. Watch out! Hold on! Thatcher! Touchdown! Yards on the return.
The team responds after Bob Stoops saying that the special teams needed more discipline, they needed more hustle. Everyone does a good job, although one guy gets blown up, who, as average, got blown away, and Thatcher takes it the distance. Bill, he had a terrific return for touchdown last year at home against Oklahoma State. This young guy out of Norman is making quite an impression.
Got a little giddy up, son. And now for the extra point, Duncan. All right, that's what I meant to do on the field goal attempt. This one is good, and it is 13, now 14-0 Oklahoma. So the Sooners come right back and stuff Arkansas State. Thatcher, a 66-yard return, and Oklahoma now a 2-touchdown lead over Arkansas State.
And that's what you do to a team when you come in as a prohibitive favorite. You don't let them stay around. You know, I thought that it's a different level, but Nebraska today and Notre Dame went down to the wire. A couple of big special teams play in that game kept Notre Dame right in it, where they easily could have won that game, ended up going to overtime. And Oklahoma here not wanting to mess with this bunch as they did last week a little bit with UTEP.
I wonder if Thatcher was as anxious to go to the phone when he doesn't make that kind of run. Nice job. Well, certainly tradition is back here at Oklahoma. Former Sooner Spencer Tillman works on our regional sports report at Fox Sports Net. Had some comments about the Sooner tradition.
No question about it. I mean, you start talking about guys like Billy Vessel. Even though I didn't play with those guys, I'm a historian. I love the game. The game of college football is nothing like it. Billy Vessel, Steve Owens, Billy Sims. I mean, I wore his number. In fact, I changed to number 20 after my sophomore season because I think maybe Weldon Ledbetter or Jerome Ledbetter actually had number 20 at that point, so I couldn't wear it. But no question, the tradition impacts you big time, and I think that's why I'm so excited now to see us get back into that tradition of winning again because, you know, you get 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years, a gap where you don't have that excellence. These young kids, they forget very, very quickly. So I'm jacked about what they're doing now.
As he is jacked about what they're doing, Arkansas State's Higginbotham, pretty good return of his own right, not matching Thatcher, but Arkansas State will at least have good field position for this possession, down 14-0.
Spencer Tillman, one of the classier guys to ever come through these parts, and oh yes, he could play a little. Yeah. And he's doing all right these days too. He's a very good man.
Sellout crowd, speaking of tradition, that used to just be the given, and it has become that once again here at Oklahoma. Biggest crowd in 12 years last week of 74,761, and they've been treated to a pretty good show so far here. First and 10 at the 37. And Lemon hands it off. Adams found a nice hole across the 40 to the 42-yard line for the Indians.
This offensive line at Arkansas State is very big. Bill, you mentioned that 4 of the 4 returning starters are in there tonight, and it's a bunch that goes 307, 325, 308, 309, and then some of the backups, 341, 320, 322, 300. It's unbelievable.
Training table must not be bad at Jonesboro. Second down and 4 from the 43. And again, Adams very close to first down. Late flag as Roy Williams made the stop in the secondary. Officials talk it over with Oklahoma up 14-0. Thatcher the 66-yard punt return and Heupel the 1-yard run. Here's the call. That'll bring it back against the Indians on the hold.
Torrance Marshall off to a fast start tonight at linebacker, and also Roy Williams, the strong safety, is going to be involved in tons of tackles this year. He actually is a quasi linebacker.
On the offense, repeat second down.
And
Joe Hollis not happy with the penalty again.
I mentioned Roy Williams, Bill. He's a guy that about half the time tonight he will read as a linebacker reads. He'll be up playing near the line of scrimmage for Coach Bob Stoops, who turned 40 today.
Doesn't look it. I guess when you're older than everybody, it never does. Third down and 16 now for Arkansas State.
Dirt looks young.
2:29 to go in the first. Quarterback Lemon. And it is incomplete. It'll be third down now. Straight was covering. He's wearing your old uniform number. Did you allow that? Spencer was talking about numbers.
I couldn't catch up with him if he was wanting me to catch him and take it off of him. Straight, terrific play. And then over the top, we talked about Roy Williams. Here he is, strong safety. Oklahoma in very good position for the second consecutive time on deep balls. But not only Roy Williams, but number 2, Derek Strait. Really, his technique was very good on that play, and he is generally a very good technician.
Last week, OU allowed 342 yards of offense in the UTEP game. Third and 16, the ball at the 31 of the Indians. Out of the shotgun this time for Cleo Lemon. Plenty of time. Now he's chased a bit. Dumps it off to Walker. Walker knocked out of bounds at the 40, maybe the 41-yard line. It'll be a punting situation as Corey Heineke and Marshall combined to make the stop on the play for Oklahoma. Heineke, the junior from Edmond, he had a big week last week.
Had a good time here watching 62 at the top of your screen. Corey Callens will drop back into a zone blitz. There he is. He says, no, I can't stay back there. I can't be patient enough. I'm going to go tackle you. And when he did, Lemon was able to drop it off, but the pursuit of Oklahoma kept that one in check.
4th and 6 from the 41, and Oklahoma to take the punt from Shatley again. It is Thatcher. You know he's bringing it. And watch out, 30. Thatcher still going and stumbles across the 40-yard line. A terrific return. A flag is thrown. Looked like he was going to get 4 or 5 out of that. A little bit shaken up as he heads to the sideline now. Thatcher, in fact, more than shaken up. And it's going to be a foul, personal foul, I believe, on Arkansas State.
I think that was a late hit, but more importantly for Oklahoma, J.T. Thatcher needs to get up. He's a player, Bill, that has beefed up to 218 pounds. And I like this because he goes north and south. You've got to make the first guy miss you. The rest of the guys get in good position, either screen their men or knock them down. And Oklahoma dominant in every phase of the game, including special teams.
And the late hit that time for Arkansas State. And Oklahoma is going to be in excellent position. Hopefully Thatcher's all right. Chris Hogan, number 46, a freshman linebacker for Arkansas State. Well, you saw him come in there, a late hit. And the Sooners will get it 1st and 10 on the 42 of ASU. Heupel out of the shotgun. Works, 40, 35, and Works pushes forward to the 33-yard line.
That play works, Bill, because it's effectively a run. Right now you have 4 guys here that are going to rush the passer, 7 drop off into coverage, but this is effectively a run because you get it out to Works where a run would have been, and he's taken off down the field, so that play worked beautifully against that defense.
And Works with a couple of receptions tonight. Last week it was the running game. Tonight he's getting it through the air. Here's a run for Ronaldo. And he slips his way for a first down to the 30-yard line before Ojaveda made the tackle for Arkansas State. Heupel is 8 of 11 for 89.
He's had 1 ball off target. If Bill, I think the goal for any offense is to get the defense back on its heels. I think Oklahoma at this point has the Indians back on their booty.
First and 10 at the 30. Heupel again, plenty of time. Quickly, the man coming across the 20, and inside there, Trent Smith, sophomore from Clinton, Oklahoma, and another first down.
Well, Bill, defensively for ASU, Leon Burnett, their defensive coordinator, has chosen to go pretty vanilla here on defense. You can see they're only rushing 4, sometimes 3, actually dropping a defensive lineman back into coverage. They're really allowing offense for the Oklahoma to get started very easily. As you can see here, Josh Heupel's having his way in the passing game, the running game, the lanes are open very much. I think that ASU needs to be a little more pressure-oriented on defense to have a chance to stop this OU offense.
Good shot there of Burnett, who, of course, used to be at Purdue. And Joe Hollis, happy he's got his whole staff intact for the first year. At Arkansas State, many times, you're going to lose guys from year to year. Thinks he's finally got some stability in his staff.
First time in 6 years they've had the same defensive coordinator for 2 years in a row.
Let's see what they call here with Oklahoma having a first and goal after that penalty from the 8-yard line. Works, breaks the tackle, and dives across the 5. That was the kind of effort we saw a week ago in his highlight, 4-yard touchdown run where he carried 4 across the goal line with him. Jones stops him here. And Works getting compliments from the coaching staff before the game last week. Came in early, wanted to check his responsibilities in certain plays and just doing everything he could to be prepared for his debut at OU. And that will to prepare showed up in his performance. Second and goal from the 6. Flags everywhere. Snap. Oklahoma with 19 seconds to go in the first period, up 14-zip.
I think Bubba Burcham, as we hear the call.
Dead ball. Ball start on the offense. Still second down.
Bubba Burcham, the center, told me he has his butt too low oftentimes, and the ball, actually what happened there, it's that's about as bad as it gets for a center. Number 1, he forgot the snap count, and number 2, his quarterback was in the shotgun, and he snapped it as if he were under center. So other than that, Bubba, that's a nice play.
Yeah, he was setting up that, I thought he was setting up that old Fumbarooski, baby. Gonna pull it up, set it down, and leave it for someone else to carry in. Second down and goal for the 11 now. Heupel looking for some room. Found an opening. Flag thrown. Touchdown if it's not on OU. I believe it is Arkansas State signaling that. Let's find out if they're just wishful.
Josh is going, what do I have to do to throw another touchdown pass? He had Griffin drop one earlier that could have gone in, and then that one.
And Heupel setting records every time out. The one he could set tonight, he's just 3 shy of career touchdown passes. The mark is 35, held by a coaching staff member, Cale Gundy, who had a great career here in the early 90s, and now receivers, or running backs
yeah,
coach.
Running backs coach. And Steve Spurrier Jr., as you know, you've talked to Steve a lot. He's the wide receiver coach, doing a great job.
Pass interference on the offense. Repeat second down.
Let's see if we can see what happens on the offensive pass interference.
Keep an eye right there. No, couldn't have been him. Shouldn't have been him.
Well, was not Smith. He bumped a little bit against Reed. Tyshawn Reed, but no call on that. Whatever, it gives Oklahoma, though, second and goal now from the 26-yard line. Well, we got more room to operate if you want to look at the positive. How about stretching people when you get down to that red zone? Heupel again got all day and got a man. Complete? No! Could not hang on. Again, Trent Smith.
All right, all you guys out there that are going to look at the statistics and say, what's up with Heupel this year? Keep an eye on this. We're going to throw some stats at you as Josh Heupel finds big Trent Smith on a flag route, a corner route, and he will catch that pass 99 times out of 100. but not this time.
Bowens covering on the play that time, and Oklahoma ends the first period up 14-0, but frustrated that they didn't get one right there. Stay with us. We'll be back with more on Fox Sports Net. Bob Stoops led the Sooners to their first winning season in 5 years in his first year at OU last year. We had a chance to ask him what's changed from this year compared to last year. We'll give that to you in just a moment. But first of all, big third down for OU. 3rd and goal at the 26 for the Sooners as we start the second quarter. Heupel out of the shotgun. Got his man at the 10, into the end zone, touchdown Oklahoma, Mackey, Damian Mackey. First play of the second quarter.
Well, I know that Arkansas State probably feels that it doesn't have the men to match up man on man. But if you sit back in zone, Heupel will pick you apart, and that's exactly what he does there. 13 here on the side. He runs a corner route, or excuse me, he is up the boundary, finds a little soft spot. That's all you do against zones, is you basically just find an open area. It's not a streak route, or it's not a curl or an out. You just go feel the spot, and that's what Josh Heupel does better than most people I've ever seen, is feel the game, and his receivers do a terrific job of that as well.
Heupel, his 33rd career touchdown pass as he closes in on Cale Gundy. His first tonight, his 3rd of the season, and it goes to Damian Mackey, the sophomore out of Union City, California, 5'11", 185. He had 3 grabs last week for 54 yards. Well, we're going to throw you a little Bob Stoops on the program. What about the quarterback and what he thinks about Josh Heupel and his play?
I believe Josh will be a better quarterback this year and more productive for the reasons that I think he's in better condition and shape. He's stronger than he was a year ago. He's worked really hard preparing for this season in that manner. I believe he's been able to concentrate on his techniques and fundamentals. Now that he understands the scheme and what our offense is, he understands the mental part of it. He's been able to concentrate on his techniques and fundamentals, and Chuck Long has done a great job with him in those areas. So I'm hoping that together is going to help him be a little more efficient this year.
Well, Dean, you mentioned last week some of the physical numbers that have changed about Heupel in better shape, and Stoops backing that up, and certainly he has looked at tonight. The kickoff out of the end zone, 1st and 10, Arkansas State in the 20.
Well, I think it's a perfect situation for Josh because Mike Leach was his guy. I mean, Josh fell in love with Mike Leach, who was the offensive coordinator here a year ago, who recruited him. And Mike, of course, now down at Texas Tech. But that marriage was great. It introduced him to that style of ball at this level. He had played some in junior college. But now that Mike's gone, they bring in Chuck Long, who I think is also a perfect fit. Chuck is a prototypical drop-back passer with great mechanics, and that's the area that Josh needed help in. So he's totally a different player mechanically. Tonight, Bill, he's had 2 drops, 10 of 14, and 1 TD called back by penalty. He's only missed 1 pass tonight.
And given OU 127 through the air as you look at those numbers. 1st and 10, for Adams and crew as Arkansas State really at almost the blowout point. If Arkansas State needs to maybe give their defense a little bit of a breather here, at least establish something offensively with a 21-0 in the early moments of the second period. Jeremy Wilson Guest made the tackle that time.
Oklahoma getting into the end zone after a couple of balls looked like they were going to get into the end zone, so they ended up scoring, but the previous series they should have scored when the ball was dropped, so it really should be 28.
Pass is complete to Kilo, and he was hammered by Strait. Great timing tackle that time by Derek Strait. Heck of a catch by Robert Kilo. Kilo, 3 grabs, 59 yards in the loss to NC State.
Lemon is a terrific thrower, and this time he's got an out route, gets pressure, so that gets in his face. He throws a perfect ball, but sometimes you have perfect execution offensively and defensively, and that's exactly what you had. Straight in perfect position.
Picked up a couple. It's 3rd and 5 now from the 25. Out of the shotgun is Cleo Lemon. OU showing blitz. Marshall coming on. Got it, and Higginbotham made the reception very close and will have the first down. The 32-yard line. Not an easy play for Cleo Lemon.
No, it's a terrific job by Lemon of avoiding the pressure by 10. Marshall up the middle, steps up, buys time, and Higginbotham is a guy, Bill, at 5'10", a little target, but a speedster, reportedly 4.24 in the 40-yard dash.
Lemon tonight, 7 of 10 for 35. Heupel 10 of 14 for 127. 1st and 10 for Arkansas State, what they're concerned about right now. A little play action. And complete again to Kilo. Straight was covering that time. And should move the chains again at the 43-yard line. As you look at Mike Stoops, defensive coordinator of Oklahoma.
Bill, Gary talked a while ago about the viral infection in the eye of center Jack Wright. He's been replaced now by Tripp, and Tripp is down. So that could be a messy situation.
Go 3 deep
for Arkansas State.
He's a junior from Thomaston, Georgia, 6'1", 297. Never good when they're attending to the knee.
Take a look there in the middle.
That's Wilson Guest that was tied up with him. Oh, you can see him lift it there. The right knee. I don't know if he got hit or he just got twisted as he was backpedaling. Joe Hollis pleading his case to the official.
Joe knows he's in a jam right now. Down 21 to zip on the road, struggling, and now considering a third center. And to make matters worse, Mr. Tripp, you're guilty of holding.
So Tripp gingerly taking off the field. Arkansas State, you know about being in a bind. Last week, they go to NC State, and those are money games. You take a big paycheck. Well, lo and behold, they had everything going for them. Led by 3 late. Tried to get a late touchdown to seal it near the goal line. Did not get it. NC State comes back, ties it up, and then wins in double overtime. Well, ouch. Then they come here. Doesn't look good here. They go home to open against Memphis. Later on, they got TCU, another top 25 team.
Right. They've bitten off a lot. You know, we were looking a minute ago at Jack Wright and that viral infection in the eye. Terminology has changed a lot throughout the year. The old headaches back in the old days were down to concussions. Does that mean he has pink eye? That viral infection in the eye?
Probably.
Yeah. Well, I hope that's all it is and that he can play. They need him.
Lemon in trouble again and hit near the line of scrimmage. Brought down by Steffen, the linebacker, as he closed quickly on him. It was a 1st and 20 situation. Roger Steffen there to make the play.
Sooners out-manning Arkansas State all over the place. They put pressure play after play. Torrance Marshall forces Lemon up inside, and Straight closes quickly. And that's the thing that they're doing so impressively tonight, Bill, is they're flushing the quarterback out, or when they're not and it's another player that they're pursuing, they're getting there really quickly.
Might have noticed number 50, Jack Wright, back in and the center right now for the Indians. 2nd down. Adams to the 30 and then hit hard, and a host of tacklers helping out on the play. Ante Jones leading the way from the Sooner secondary. Senior from Homestead, Florida, is Adams. Sets it up for 3rd and about 7, it looks like.
Sooner staff guessing wrong on this one, as they are outnumbered on the run and then do a poor job of tackling. That time, Torrance Marshall, who's played pretty well tonight so far, almost didn't get a hand even on the outstanding running back in Adams.
Adams, 4 carries, 17 yards as he gets a breather. And Oklahoma sets up defensively for a 3rd and 7. The ball on the Arkansas State 35. Sooners up 3 touchdowns. Here comes Kalmus on the blitz. Complete to Kilo at the 40. And diving, trying to get the first down, but the spot is going to leave him short, I believe. You see the marker down there. Let's see where they give it to him as Strait made the tackle.
Interesting looking play there as Oklahoma, as always, puts pressure on. You see Kalmus get to the quarterback. He gets it to his man Kilo. Now you got to get upfield, get just a little more, as Oklahoma gets great pursuit by Strait and Thatcher. And Bill, I think they stopped him short.
Here comes the kick team.
You know, it's just those little inches here or there. That was a very good play defensively, but I think Kilo will look back at that and say, you know, I should have gotten that. We should have moved the chains and kept our defense off the field.
Andy Shatley, number 11, junior from Jonesboro, last week averaging 43 yards a kick. Here's Thatcher. You saw what he did earlier tonight. He's had 2 terrific returns.
Delay a game.
Offense.
Well, the Indians are coming off of a game that they played well but didn't get the victory. They're getting tired of the moral victories, and they are not responding very well tonight. I know that Coach Hollis had expected them to have a little bit more energy.
4-7 a year ago for Joe Hollis's club. Looking at 0-2 here tonight if they don't get it turned around quickly. Shatley. Thatcher from the 20. Set up nicely. Needs to break one here and does. 40. Thatcher again to the 40-yard line. He says, I'm fine, thank you. Thatcher sets Oklahoma up in great position again with a 40-yard return.
A great play by J.T. Thatcher, and we'll show it in a moment.
All right. Oh, you say, wait a minute, we won't give you another great play. Let's see if they do. It's High Pleasant 1st and 10 from the 41. Griffin to the 30, and Griffin down near the 21-yard line. A pickup of 20 or more. We'll see where they spot it. All set up by Thatcher's 3rd great return.
Thatcher caught the ball and no Indian was within 10 yards. A nice job of making people miss, a poor job of tackling, and a nice job by his guys, and a terrific late block there. Did you see the guy come flying in the white jersey? That's Josh Norman getting it done there. And watch the little, this guy can skedaddle.
You say scat back, and it does fit, doesn't it?
Yeah,
as
scat back.
Quentin Griffin takes it 20. So a 40-yard punt return, 20-yard pass run play, and Arkansas State with players hobbling off left and right. That was a look at the Conqueror is what his name means in Somalian. It's much easier than Ajabeda. And Oklahoma 1st and 10 again. Griffin stopped there for nothing. Loss on the play as Bradley made the tackle. John Bradley.
Well, that was a bust, it appeared to me, by Jamar Mosey, the fullback replacing Seth Luttrell. And you don't think Seth Luttrell's valuable. Look at 2nd and 14.
Yeah. So Griffin lines up again behind Heupel on 2nd. They make it 15 officially from the 26. And the handoff to the end around. Mackey out of bounds at the 20-yard line to stop the clock. Fagan, I beg your pardon, number 12. Curtis, the sophomore from Houston. Honorable mention all-conference pick a year ago.
They'll fly the outside receivers, or at least, no, they'll stalk those guys. I thought they flew them out of the way to try to get the secondary away from Fagan, but they stalked them. And speaking of stalking, something is stalking the Indians as they have yet another player down.
Tyshawn Reed, junior from Moultrie, Georgia, starting inside linebacker, is down, and they're checking his knee. Watch 34 in the white here, and the block on him by OU. That was Duncan, Howard Duncan, who got it.
Looked like a hyperextended knee. If I'm told not to ever guess, so we won't guess that that's a hyperextended knee. You see a great block there by Josh Norman late.
Well, Arkansas State, Joe Hollis told us he planned on playing a lot of people tonight. I don't think this is the way he planned on doing it, though. And
no.
Thankfully, Reed is going off on his own power, and hopefully he'll be back. But they have really been hampered by the injury problems this evening. And Oklahoma now, 3rd down and 8. The ball on the 19.
Sooners with Lance Donnelly, a true freshman, flanked out to the right, flexed out to the right over there. True freshman, 86.
Above him is Fagan. Luttrell slides over to the other side of Heupel now, and Donnelly slips in tight. Heupel all day. Touchdown, Oklahoma! Woolfolk!
Well, as a defense, you have to make a decision. Are you going to pressure the quarterback and expose your secondary, either most of the time in man-to-man coverage, or are you going to drop players into coverage? And they drop 9 players into coverage and have no pressure on Josh Heupel. And even with 9 back there, they couldn't keep the touchdown from being completed.
And the point after attempt by Duncan is good, and Oklahoma, with 8:29 to go before the break, is up 28-0, and they are having fun here at OU. 28-0 Oklahoma. This last play, just incredible how open Woolfolk is and how much time Heupel had, Dean.
Well, you have defensive linemen backing off into coverage. Watch these guys right in here. They are backing up, absolutely zero pressure. That's Rucker. And then for the 3rd reception of the night, Josh Heupel finds his man, Woolfolk. I don't know that I've ever seen that. It does look, we were talking during the break, it looks like touch football or flag football where you're in a 4th and long and no one's putting any pressure on you. Josh is going, Coach, is this right?
Or you're playing a game where no one's allowed to rush and you've got to throw the ball within 8 seconds.
Well, you know, the rule we used to have, at least in our neighborhood, it'd be you count to 3 before you could go in.
Yeah.
I think that was you count to 10 before you go in.
Bubba Birch of the center, you got to see him. He was looking around like, I know I'm missing somebody. There's nobody here.
You can't call it a zone blitz. You know, a zone blitz is when the defensive linemen drop back into a drop area, into 6-8 yards deep. But there was no one rushing, so we couldn't call it that.
No blitz.
We'll be able to complicate things. It looks like a mash unit over here for the ASU sideline. We've got 3 players with knee injuries. Let's start on the offensive line. Andrew Tripp, the center. We saw him hobble off the field with help. He's got ice on his knee. Questionable whether he's going to return. And then both starting linebackers. You got inside linebacker Tyshawn Reed. He has ice on his knee as well. Probably may not return. But Segun Ajibeta is walking around on the sideline. He refused to put the ice on. Maybe we'll see him back in the ballgame for ASU. Bill?
And they face a 28-0 deficit. Thank you, Gary. As they start 1st and 10 from their 20. Flags are everywhere again. 8:21 to go in the 2nd quarter. Oklahoma with Heupel 2 touchdown passes, a touchdown run, and Thatcher a 66-yard punt return for a score. It's been quite a show for the Sooners so far tonight.
Dead ball. Ball start on the offense.
That penalty was on number 74, Gary Johnson, a 309-pounder, and this is a guy that Joe Hollis, who had some good players at both Ohio State and then down at Georgia, he compares this guy favorably to Corey Stringer at Ohio State. Now, Corey Stringer could play, and he still can. Great feet on this guy, but unfortunately they were happy feet that time.
Yeah, he's throwing out the name of Orlando Pace, that type of player. Those are big names, not just big people. Now the 1st and 15, and still nothing better for Arkansas State as Adams is stopped on the play.
Stephan very active. You got a good look there at number 9. He changed the number this year, and I think we mentioned last week that here's a guy that is a 4.58 runner that last year a lot of people thought that, well, is he a liability? I mean, he's a walk-on player. Well, now he leads by example. He's in terrific condition, and the coaches consider him the glue to that defense.
Arkansas State just 59 yards of offense, only 18 on the ground. 2nd and 14. Complete at the 22, and Kilo showing great effort, but he got rocked hard, not once but twice. Thompson, I think, initially.
Up here on an island, you have Thompson one-on-one, and this guy, Bill, I think has a chance to be a very nice player. He's 6'1", 188. He runs better than 4'5". He's obviously a good tackler, a redshirt freshman, sat out last year. But he's a workhorse type, and I like this guy both. He has great character, but he also can play football.
Out of Bristow, Oklahoma, Brandon Everidge, who was suspended for last week's game, he was number 7 who came in to finish off Kilo. 3rd and 9. There's a first down as it's complete across the middle out to the 45-yard line. Mark Hamilton, a junior from Valencia, California, gets his first grab of the night. Ante Jones made the tackle, but Arkansas State's defense is probably applauding this. They get off a little breather here.
Well, it's the first time that Arkansas State was able to beat the pressure, and a step behind was Ante Jones, but nice execution for Arkansas State.
Hamilton from College of the Canyons, junior college in California, where he had 19 touchdowns in his 2 years there and 102 receptions. 1st and 10 from the 47. And stopped around the 49-yard line, the swarming OU defense.
Lemon's getting some rhythm here finally, and he has been stymied. His defense hasn't helped him out a bit. But this is the guy we talked about, Joe Hollis, complimenting a couple of the other players. He says that Lemon, the quarterback, watch here on this little screen, he says he's got the best combination of arm and reading defenses that I've had.
Danny Smith, the receiver there. Saw the eyes of Marshall.
Marshall, great job of reading that screen and tackling. He is one of the best tacklers the Sooners have.
Now Oklahoma pursuing on the sideline with flags littering the field, carrying the football. Hickenbotham.
That'll be a clip.
Derek Strait taking care of business. This one is bogged down with some penalties here tonight. We mentioned the problem for Arkansas State last week. They had 14. Oklahoma had 9 penalties last week for 70 yards. And this is the 11th penalty tonight.
Illegal formation on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
That is the 8th penalty on Arkansas State for 66 yards. OU with 3 for 25. Second and 10 for the Indians. Sellout crowd, getting anxious, want some action. Ball on the 47 of the Indians. Again, Hamilton, and he is smothered at the 47-yard line of Oklahoma. Mark Hamilton paid for that second reception as Brandon Everidge made the tackle, redshirt freshman from Granger, Texas.
I think the Indians have decided that they aren't going to have success holding the ball very long in the pocket. They aren't going to have success on many timing routes, or at least your deeper routes. So they've elected to go underneath, and they are a good screen team. The Oklahoma staff had complimented them after some film review.
333 yards of total offense last week. 206 less than their opponent, NC State, but they got a little rhythm here. 3rd and 4 on the 47. Walker in motion. Lemon, the look into Kilo, and nearly broke a big one. Got the first down as he was ankle grabbed at the 35 and brought down at the 33 by Michael Thompson. You can see the interest and the excitement that Kilo brings to the game.
Yeah, here it is. He's got a slant route going, and Michael Thompson, he's a step behind him. The receiver knows at that point when he breaks inside, if the defender is not on top, he knows he has that route, and so does the quarterback, so they do a nice job of taking what the defense gave them.
All conference in the Big West last year, 57 grabs, 783 yards, and 5 scores. 1st and 10 at the 32 for Arkansas State, down 28-zip. Smith breaks it off, 25-20, should score, and does. Touchdown, Arkansas State on a 32-yard run. Thatcher and Strait were chasing on the play, but Danny Smith, a junior from Cleveland, Mississippi. And that quiets this Oklahoma crowd.
Oklahoma caves in up top. You see Steffen get caught, the linebacker playing on top, and no safety help behind as Thatcher gets caught inside as well. Impressive drive for the Indians.
And they try to make it 28-7 as Nick Gato for the point after, and it is good. So the Indians are on the board, 28-7 Oklahoma, middle of the second.
Watch the cutback here by Smith, the over pursuit by Oklahoma. We're going to stop it right there. And you see that Oklahoma is all caught inside here. Safety on top, he has to be here. But the Sooners out of position as the cutback on top goes the distance, and the junior college transfer has just enough speed to beat straight to the end zone.
Danny out of Mississippi Delta Junior College, where he had 16 touchdowns, 2-year starter. And Motors here in relief of their all-star, Jonathan Adams. And it's now 28-7. Oklahoma to take the kickoff with 4:41 remaining. And they had the 26-yard pass play to set everything up before that 32-yard TD. Oklahoma with Savage and Mackey deep for the kick. And the short man takes it, Luttrell. And he rumbles across the 35-yard line before he is tripped up. Sooners, again, good field position.
Bill, he looks exactly like his daddy when he runs the football. He is bigger, stronger, and he'll tell you prettier and faster. But when he on runs like that, he looks just like his dad. Jimmy Luttrell was a fullback here on the national championship team. I guess a couple of them, 74. He was the fullback on the 74 team. And that's the style of play that Luttrell had. Straight ahead, get every inch you can, don't make any mistakes, and he's a bulldog. This guy can play.
Oklahoma fans that remember Jimmy, and if you were around at all, you remember him. He is a spitting image, and you sit there and you think we've turned back the clock. 1st and 10 on the 36 now for the Sooners. Heupel. Smith. And Trent dives to midfield. 1st and 10 Sooners. 14 yards on the pass play. Bobby Patterson, the right corner, made the tackle.
Teams are running this little crossing route underneath and sometimes using the umpire. Watch the umpire here. Oklahoma doesn't necessarily do it. You don't. You talk about it. Everybody does it. It's sort of a little screen with the official, and every team in the country does it.
And it seems like more and more are making it a part of their offense.
Yeah.
That umpire is going to have to be a guy that's going to be very agile these days. 1st and 10, here's Works. And Works goes in Arkansas State territory. They're going to mark it to 42, it appears, as Macy Davis, sophomore from Camden, Arkansas, made the tackle.
Watch leading out front, number 3, Josh Norman, once again. I mean, Josh Norman has had a heck of a night blocking. He won't show up statistically thus far in the game, but this big guy is doing his part.
2nd and 1 at the 41 after the 9-yard pickup for Works. Works now, 4 carries, 15 yards. Luttrell slips to the other side of Heupel. Josh going to keep the football. Saw a little opening. Things were covered well. Got the first down, and that's what was needed. And there again, you see some of the smarts of Josh Heupel, knowing he only needed a yard, Dean.
Yeah, he knew he only needed a yard, got that, didn't get hurt. Offensive line doing a great job of communication before that ball snapped. They know that they have everyone accounted for, and that's what Josh Heupel knows. So he knows, you know, Bill, he'll be at the line of scrimmage, and he'll know that, hey, I don't have enough men to block them this play. I've got to either escape or I've got to hit my hot receiver. That time he knew he had men that would be able to take all the oncoming rush.
1st and 10 from the 38. Norman, 35, 30. Norman trying to stay in bounds. And he stepped out. Still, heck of a play as Josh Norman cuts right across the middle of the field And Keyshawn Cotton, junior secondary safety, made the stop.
Arkansas State is baffled by the crossing routes, the little stuff underneath. Sooners with superior speed, but you can't give that big a cushion, and
he barely stepped out. And now another flag, and going to bring it back even further.
Hold on the offense, 15-yard, 10-yard penalty.
So the 10-yard penalty, there's just a couple of those in the books, and it's 1st and 10. The ball now, well, let's see where they mark it. It looks like the 48-yard line of Arkansas State, and it'll be 1st and 24. Mackey in motion. Heupel goes that way. 40.
This one will come back as well with a hold. Mackey got the play that he likes the best. I asked Damian Mackey a couple of weeks ago what types of plays he likes, doesn't like, and he said, I like them anytime they throw them to me, but I don't really like some of the post routes as much as I do the short stuff where I get some yards after catch, and you see why. He can accelerate and make people miss him.
Yeah, he darts around pretty good there. Bob Stoops, you know he's not happy right now. Oh, you look so crisp early in the game.
Hold on the offense, repeat 1st down.
Now back-to-back holding calls. And you see the totals tonight, 13 penalties in the game. Oklahoma with its 5th.
That call goes against Antoine Savage on the outside. It's a fine line these days between holding and it being a legal block.
And we got a discussion yesterday about pick and rub with the receivers, which particularly in this offense you see a lot of. What is a pick, and is that legal, and what's a rub? And rub's legal, a pick is
Rub's
not.
Rub's legal, a pick's not, yeah.
I never did get a clear definition of what the difference is there. If we did, we'd pass it along.
Well, it's that old deal. If the yellow flag comes out, it was illegal, and it was a pick.
Now, 1st and 30 for the OU 42. Heupel, little bit of pressure, finds a man, though, at the 40. And Savage making the grab there. That'll cut it in half, I think. It'll be 2nd down and 12 from the 40.
Two things abundantly clear as you see the zone coverage here. The lack of the rush, which you don't see, but the accuracy of Josh Heupel being able to find receivers, and he finally had pressure at the end of that. Josh Heupel is having a sensational night.
Heupel, 2 touchdown passes and has scored one as well. For the night, he's 13 of 17, 180 yards. Going again. This one is picked off, and Arkansas State will get the football back, as coming up with it for ASU is Bowens, their two-way performer, Heinous Bowens, and he's a senior from Houston out of Clear Lake High School.
Well, as soon as I say a sensational night is being enjoyed by Josh Heupel, he forces one into coverage. Bowens is in great position there, and he's the best cover guy. He sits back in zone and goes up on that one that was not a well-thrown ball. That was a force. I guess Josh is saying everything else I've thrown has worked. First turnover for the Sooners this evening.
Bowens, an honorable mention, all-conference pick last year. He had a couple of interceptions and broke up 10. You'll see him used on offense a little bit as well. 1st and 10 at the 22 for the Indians. Lemon, pump fake. And the closest man to that ball was Oklahoma's Derek Strait. Number 2, covering number 2, Kilo.
Derek Strait out here on top, right there in the corner. Keep an eye on him because it's a stop-and-go route. He has his man deep. He gets caught up looking at the ball too soon. If he just stays with his man and anticipates when that ball comes by not looking back or peeking at the quarterback, Bill, he's able to be deeper and intercept that football.
Yeah, he had a clear shot at it. 2nd and 10, the ball on the 22 now. 2:16 to go before the half. Lemon finds a man at the 32, 32-yard line. And the tackle is made there on Alvin Powell by Straight. Powell, a junior from Rome, Georgia, Mississippi Community College.
Kind of feel like saying, see, we told you that they can do some things pretty well. They have figured out the blitz, Oklahoma continuing to come, but they're accounting for the blitzers most of the time. When they do and they give Lemon enough time, he has the arm, as you see.
Well, Lemon has now thrown for over 6,000 yards in his career. That last play took care of it. He's 108 tonight, and anybody that does that starts 4 years in Division I football. And we watched him on tape. We saw some plays that he made against Ole Miss last year, Dean, and there's no question this guy can get it done.
Dead ball. Ball start on the offense. Still first down.
I want to remind you at halftime, an all-star cast will be here tonight, as we'll have a chance to visit with Barry Switzer and also Sherry Cole, women's basketball coach at Oklahoma. Just done an incredible job of turning around a program that tri-champs last year in the Big 12 and onto the Sweet 16 of the NCAA.
Hey, we were talking about who interviews whom. I won the flip. I get Sherry.
I'll handle Barry. He's probably going to come up on his couch anyway, right? First and 15 for the 28.
Movement. Gary Johnson may be Orlando Pace in some aspects, but not in all. He's having a rough night in terms of jumping off sides at least.
Ball start. The offense. Down.
Hey, Dean, when a man moves like that on the offensive line, he pulls up when they come here to the University of Oklahoma. Is that called a Sooner?
Well, if they do it in red, it's a Boomer or a Sooner. Yeah. And it used to be a land rush here, but now it's in the air, so.
Get it all sorted out here with 2:10 to go in the second quarter. Arkansas State, Joe Hollis looking on, and Cleo Lemon, the senior quarterback from Greenwood, Mississippi, brings him out. First and 20, the ball on the 23. Out of the shotgun. Hands it off to Danny Smith. Trying that same move that got him the touchdown, and Smith this time to the 30-yard line before he's knocked down. Smith, 6 carries, 6 yards last week, but he's got a 32-yard TD run on his sheet tonight.
Keep an eye on a couple of things. The quarterback, watch number 12 Lemon get the block on Cody, number 80. Great agility for Cody, but he's a true freshman, and the quarterback gets him. That is pretty good movement, though, by a guy at 6'5" and 250. He runs like a tight end.
We'll see what kind of blocker you were as a quarterback, but we got a play to call here. Second down at 13 from the 30.
I was a better tackler because I had more experience after interceptions. Or really more to the point, fumbles that they picked up and ran in.
Marshall made the play that time on the tackle for Oklahoma. And now third down and 13.
You know, you talk about tackling and blocking. I can think of the best players at Oklahoma have been the running backs who not only ran the ball well, but were terrific blockers. Joe Washington was a fabulous blocker.
No one talks about that.
No. All those guys, they could run, they could block, they could catch. They did it all. And I don't care if you're talking about him or Horace Ivory or Peacock or Pruitt, Billy Sims.
Timeout call with 50 seconds to go as the clock winds down. Arkansas State calls the timeout, and Oklahoma up 28-7 as Bob Stoops talks it over with his troops. And you're talking about some players here that have helped establish the tradition of Oklahoma. Indeed, something else that we talk about, sellout crowds, also home field dominance that is starting to come back. Last year, OU won all its home games, and if you're going to get back to national contender, the first thing you got to do is get back to conference championships. That means you got to win all your home games, and they're starting to get into that field again.
Well, it's been a total effort, not only with Bob and his players, but with the administration and the fan support. You can't do it without everyone participating, and I think that all coaches want to win at home. But I think Bob Stoops saw through Bill Snyder, but more to the point through Steve Spurrier down at the Swamp, what it can be like. and you know how much he admires Steve Spurrier. I think that he wants to emulate that if he can at all.
Stoops, of course, went from K-State to Florida in 3 years there and was part of that national championship group that beat Florida State.
He still speaks with the Coach Spurrier 2 or 3 times every week, and some of the other coaches periodically, but clearly his friendship with Steve Spurrier is deep.
3rd and 13 now as play resumes, and under a minute to go in the half. Arkansas State from its 30. Rolling out this time, Lemon. And again, straight the closest man to the football, intended for Pegues, the tight end. And it'll be a 4th down and 13. And Oklahoma, of course, trying to get back to national championships, 6 of them. We'll talk to Coach Switzer, who's a part of 3 of those. 36 conference championships, and the numbers are just mind-boggling. That 122 All-Americans. And for those of you that have not been here and seen the Barry Switzer Center, which is the museum area for football, make sure you stop by the next time you come to this campus. A football fan of any kind, you'd just be amazed at the job they've done with that. On the punt, Shatley to Thatcher. You know he's wanting to return it, but he had to back off that time, lets it go out of bounds.
Well, I disagree. I think you've got to catch that ball. You know, even if you have to fair catch it, I think that he will be graded down for that. Very few times do you let the football hit the ground. And
you don't know it's going to bounce out of bounds.
Yeah, right. That ball could easily hit and bounce inside the 10-yard line. But when you're up by 21 points and it goes out of bounds, you know, it may seem like that it's not a big deal. But as you saw, I think it was Bob Stoops talking to him as he came off.
Here comes Josh Heupel. He's just 14 of 19 for 198 yards, 2 touchdowns. Did have the interception on the last throw. And let's see what OU does with 36 seconds to go. Line of scrimmage, their own 22.
Apparently, they're not going to run the clock out.
I don't think they're going to take a knee. Josh Heupel got him spread out everywhere. Brings it back to Mackey. Mackey to the 30. I wanted to get out of bounds there with 27 seconds to go, and Ojabeda made the tackle.
Well, he split the tacklers, thought he might be able to go, but by getting the first down in college, of course, the clock stops, and it will be restarted as the ball is set, but Oklahoma elects to use one of its timeouts.
So the Sooners here, and if you are wondering, as you look at Heupel's numbers now, Dean, this is just good 2-minute drill type stuff.
Exactly.
For when you are in a game that it's really necessary.
Well, and, you know, 28-7.
It's not locked up.
Yeah, sure, Arkansas State. Funnier things have happened in football. This is Nate Hibble next to Heupel, and it is going to cause some broadcasters just entire nightmares there with Heupel and Hibble.
I'm just glad he's not a fullback and a starter.
Well, in this offense, you wouldn't have a problem. It would be if he was a receiver.
Yeah.
But no, you're right, Bill. They have a chance here to execute a 2-minute offense, and perfect situation to do it.
Let's take a look at the schedule here of Oklahoma, because talking about a perfect situation. 1-0, they got tonight's game, then a week off before Rice comes to town, and then the Big 12 opens up with Kansas, and there's the gauntlet there in October. Texas, Kansas State, a week off to meet Nebraska. And how they're standing after that will pretty well tell the story for this season. Nebraska winning today, by the way, if you missed it, in overtime at Notre Dame.
Yeah, Nebraska did it late. I didn't get to catch the most of the second half, but turned it on at the end, and Crouch made some plays. The conference, Bill, needed that.
Oh, big time. I mean, after A&M went up there and played well but got beat last week, they don't need the #1 team in the country for the Big 12 to fall at Notre Dame, regardless of how well the Irish did play in that game. 1st and 10 from the 34. And flags thrown. Did OU draw them off? Wait and see.
Now, that's Big Al Basinger.
You know, we talk 2-minute drills, maybe a 10-minute drill, as long as this may take to play the last 27 seconds of the half.
Ball start on the offense, still 1st down.
Big Al Basinger's a senior, so this is his last chance to get it together, but Mark Mangino has sure made a nice player out of him, and I think the former regime was, honestly, about to ship him out.
Senior out of Dallas, Carter, wishing his name wasn't on the back of his shirt that time, but he has certainly turned things around.
Yeah.
1st and 15 now from the 29 for Heupel. And Woods almost came up with it in the secondary, looking for Damian Mackey again. Clock stops with 23 seconds to go. Again, remind you at halftime, former Oklahoma and Dallas Cowboys coach Barry Switzer will be with us, and also the Sooners women's basketball coach Sherry Cole. Fun to visit with both of them. Bill Land, Dean Blevins, and Gary Reasons with you here in Norman, Oklahoma, trying to see if they can get something here in the final 23 seconds of the half.
Quentin Griffin right on top there in for the trail. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But well defended.
Yeah, and Griffin brought down that time at the 25, and here's to let the clock go here. That should be the end of the first half. So Josh Heupel, a couple of touchdown passes to pace OU along with Thatcher's 66-yard punt return, and Oklahoma a 28-7 lead after they jumped out 14-0 after the first quarter and 28-0 before Smith's 32-yard run for Joe Hollis Arkansas State Indians makes it what it is at intermission. 28 for Oklahoma, 7 for the Arkansas State Indians as Hollis and crew head to the locker room, and we get ready for halftime here at Owen Field. The Sooners coming off the 55-14 victory over UTEP last week and lead it here at the half 28-7. We'll be back with more, including halftime activities from Owen Field, where it's the Sooners 28, Arkansas State 7.
Welcome back to Norman, where the Oklahoma Sooners are leading 28-7 over Arkansas State. Everything's going for the Sooners' way early in the first half of this ball game. Josh Heupel seemed to be his old self, being 15 of 20 for 210 yards. A couple of touchdowns through the air, only one miscue, the one interception. Hey, a real bright spot here for the Oklahoma Sooners is punt returner JT. That's JT Thatcher doing a very good job setting up a lot of good field position for the Sooners and also scoring a touchdown. So good things so far in the first half of the Sooners. Arkansas State not done a whole lot defensively. No pressure on Josh Heupel whatsoever. A lot of good pass protection by the offensive line. I know that Bob Swoops is very pleased with how his offense is producing so far. Let's go upstairs to Dean Blevins.
Thank you, Gary. And sometimes in these situations, they always say, get real close. And Bill Land and I have trouble doing that, or most people. But with Sherry Cole, it's a little bit better. Sherry, the women's basketball coach, national runner-up for Coach of the Year, the Big 12 Coach of the Year. Congratulations on a wonderful season. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Oklahoma football, what do you think?
Looks good. Looks real good.
I know you're here to talk basketball. Your club goes to the Sweet 16. Stacey Dale's getting ready to play in the Olympics.
Right. Stacey's in Sydney right now. We're extremely proud of her. About to go through the opening ceremonies of the Olympics. It's a little hard for me to even believe sometimes that she's over there, but we're real excited about her.
Talk us through this. This is some of your action from last year.
That is me trying to help a referee make a good decision. Yeah, we returned everybody off last year's Sweet 16 squad except for Felicia Whaley. It's hard to say we only lose one when it's the Big 12 Player of the Year, a kid like Felicia that's broken every record at the University of Oklahoma. But we have that kid back, Stacey Dales, J.J. Seeley, Caden Hill, Lanisha Caulfield. So we're real excited about the upcoming season.
How do you take it from the cellar to the top? How did you, I should say, for those who don't know, how did you do that?
Good kids. The bottom line is recruiting great kids who are of strong character, who have great work ethic, and who love to play for this university. And I think that's the distinguishing factor. The kids that we have really want to be here. They believe in this place, and they love playing for it.
And you have new facilities on the way, which I'm sure you're excited about.
Yes, we do. We have a terrific new facility on the way. And, of course, with no rain, we're ahead of schedule with the construction, so everything's going great. This time next year, we should be in a brand new practice floor for women only, brand new facilities, team room, locker room, coaches' offices, everything.
What is the expectation for this coming year? You had such a great one, and you do just lose the one, but Felicia Whaley is a great player.
Well, absolutely. She'll be very tough to replace. I think we'll get her points and her rebounds, but we won't replace her presence. We have a schedule that's unbelievable. We'll probably come out in the next couple of weeks ranked maybe as high as 12th in the country and get to go play Georgia, probably the number 3 ranked team, real quickly in the Coaches versus Cancer Classic. So our schedule will test us. It may not be real pretty. Our record might not look as pretty as we'd like, but I think it will really prepare us for the NCAAs.
And last year, a lot of people got to see this bunch, not only on television there, but UConn came to town, and you got a chance to play the number 1 team in the country and had a packed house.
Yeah, we did. We had 10,713 people there, and we played them very, very well. Outscored them for the last 30 minutes of the game, but lasted a little bit
What
longer
happened in
than
that first 10?
It was our first 10 that was a problem. But, the bad part was then we had to turn around and play them in the NCAA tournament. And, when the brackets first came out, I didn't care that I was in UConn's bracket until it got to the Sweet 16 and I had to play them again. And they were on a mission, easily the best team in the country. But this year in that time slot, we have Stanford coming to town. So hopefully we can break that 10,713 record.
I know you're excited not only about your part of the program, but also overall, and you're a supporter of what Bob Stoops and the guys have done.
I'm going to tell you this, there's not a better man than Bob Stoops. He is absolutely unbelievable. And I tell people that all the time, and I know I don't have to tell them that, but he's the real deal. He's character, he's sincere. When we beat Texas Tech last year and I left the floor, the first person I saw in the tunnel was Bob Stoops. I just think the world of him, I think he's doing a great job here.
There might be one, and it's not me, but it's husband Dame. So, hey, thanks. Appreciate it, and good luck to you this season.
Thank you.
Welcome back. It's halftime here at Owen Field. University of Oklahoma with a 28-7 lead over the Arkansas State Indians, and the Sooners up 21 as we enjoy the University of Oklahoma band here on Fox Sports Net. University of Oklahoma marching band in front of a sellout crowd here in Norman. The Sooners at the half, a 28-7 lead over the visitors from Arkansas State. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Here with head coach Joe Hollis from Arkansas State. Joe, not a lot good for you guys in the first half. Your offense really didn't get going. What are you going to do differently here in the second half?
Well, we're playing a pretty good Oklahoma football team. We kind of gained composure in the second quarter, put a touchdown on the board. Seemed like we played better on the defensive side after that. We're not going to change up a lot of things. Hopefully we can run the football and stop them a little bit.
Looks like on defense you're playing back a lot of zone defense, not pressuring the quarterback a lot. Did you think you could cover him man-to-man with the soft defense?
No, we didn't think we could cover man-to-man consistently, no. So that's why we're not getting a lot of pass rush. Trying to play some zone. We're going to mix it up probably a little bit more this half.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you, Gary. And Joe Hollis, as Bob Stoops puts his headset back on. Bill Land and Dean Blevins with you here. And the kick. And it'll be a touchback. Arkansas State will get 1st and 10 from its own 20. Take a look at the halftime numbers here. Other than the 28-7 OU advantage, first down 16-6. You see total yards all OU, and the penalties, both teams getting into the act.
Yeah, they did, and no punts for Oklahoma, so Arkansas State certainly has to change that. But I agree with Coach Hollis. They did regain composure there in the second quarter, and Oklahoma let down its guard a little bit. But Oklahoma can't be disappointed with its overall performance in the first half.
Yeah, and the problem might have been a little bit lulled to sleep a little bit that this was going to be an easy game. And now Arkansas State has got it going a little bit, and no matter what those numbers show, 3 touchdowns is certainly not a lock by any means, with the second half still to go here. Lemon missing on that one.
Well, it's easy to lose focus on a night like this. It's a balmy evening. It's not as hot as it was last week, but it still is one that can kind of lull you to sleep, especially with some incompletions and a slower second quarter. I expect, though, as we did last weekend, that Bob Stoops would fire the guys up at halftime and they would come out with energy here in the third.
2nd and 10, and the handoff to Adams. Breaks the tackle at the line of scrimmage and rolls to near the 27-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 3, or short for sure. J.T. Thatcher made the tackle.
What a half J.T. Thatcher had.
Yeah, he was stout.
Every school just loves to have some guy back there catching punts or catching kickoffs that is exciting. You know, you never know what they're going to do. This guy has a chance. 215 pounds. He can run through some tacklers.
Well, look how many games Kansas State busted open over the years with their kick return game, particularly David Allen. And last week, Lockett stepped in for him. It is such a bonus to be more than just average on special teams. 3rd and 3, and the pass is deflected as OU nearly picked it off. That's Corey Heineke. He had a sack and a fumble recovery last week out of Edmond. 6'1", 242.
Well, good pressure also from 93 Klein. Watch him right up the gut. But Heineke gets the hands up. And, Bill, he's not the best pass rusher for this club. He does some things extremely well, like change directions, and he's very tough. But he is not the Sooners' best pass rusher, and he does a nice job there. If you can't get there, swat it down.
He is consistent in his effort, though. 4th and 3 from the 27, and Shatley boots it away. Thatcher got plenty of room to roll. 38-yard line, skips by 1. And will be gang tackled in at the 50-yard line.
You know, he does a great job of making the first guy miss, skipping, but he's not in the air so long that the defense has the time, or the pursuers have time to catch him. And you have to comment, though, either on the punter out kicking the coverage, or more to the point, the lack of coverage for Arkansas State.
Yeah, if you're not coming after it, well, then you're not going to set up for the better punt. Their coverage has just been there. I don't see like a lot of guys just getting downfield, Dean.
Well, if you said what are special teams all about, give me 2 words. One is hustle, the second is discipline. If you don't hustle, you have no chance.
1st and 10 from midfield. Griffin. And he's to the 46.5, where Eric Kellum makes the tackle, senior from Jonesboro, former walk-on player, transferred from Arkansas Tech. Griffin hustles off as OU will have a 2nd and 7 from the 47 of the Indians. Latrell in the backfield with Heupel.
4 wide outs and Latrell, so no need for the tailback.
3 to the near side, and they come that direction to Savage. 40, 35-yard line, and that'll move the chains again for the Sooners here on their opening possession of the 3rd period. OU opened up the 2nd period with a 26-yard TD pass from Heupel to Mackey.
Teams will defend that short game differently. And you heard Coach Hollis say, yeah, we can't line up with them man-to-man and play with them all night. So they have to run a lot of zone, or they run some man and some zone on top. But teams like Texas, who the Sooners look at down the road, are going to face defenses where these guys are right there in their face, and it'll be a little more difficult.
Griffin on the draw. Winds his way to the 25-yard line. Quentin Griffin, 9-yard pickup, and Kellum making the tackle again for the Indians as he steps up, and Griffin, nice job again.
Yeah, offensive line doing a very nice job of opening up not small holes, but that is a gargantuan hole, especially for a little man down there.
Led by center Bubba Burcham.
You know, Bubba, we talked a while ago and had some fun on his misplay for the night. This guy is bright. Number 59, the center. He had no missed assignments in the first game, made all the right checks, and that is tough.
Here is Griffin looking for something behind Burcham. A flag is thrown as he is stopped at the 23-yard line. Yeah, Burcham was given a game ball last week, as well as Works. Also Roy Williams on the defensive side.
This will be a hold, I believe, against Oklahoma, Scott Kempnick.
Joe Jones made the tackle. And there's the call from the official.
Bill, Kempnick is an interesting story. He's been hurt most of his career. He has wonderful potential. He's 6'5 and a half, 310. He's the strongest guy on the team, benches 480. He is a player that has to play well because he protects Josh Heupel's backside. He says right now, he admitted, he'd say, I didn't play very well last week, and he graded low. He's relying too much on his athletic ability and brute strength instead of fundamental football. And this guy's a good kid and good player, but he has to play up to his potential.
When you say backside, you mean he plays to the right, and Heupel being a lefty is not going to be able to see that coming. So literally protecting his backside. 2nd 11 from the 35. Heupel nearly intercepted as that ball was about picked off. Bowens was there, and also number 4, Bowens, who had the first interception.
Here's the Kempnick on top. We talked about the backside. He does a nice job. Pressure is not really the issue until the end. And Heupel, anytime Josh Heupel throws the ball when he is backpedaling, he does not have zip on it. That ball was not that play was not a result of lack of zip. That was a poor decision.
Eccles was in his face. You saw Bowens, who nearly had the interception. 3rd and 11 for the Sooners. Griffin Latrell flank him. Here's Heupel. They come after it. Got a man, and it's Woolfolk. Touchdown, Oklahoma. What a grab. Talk about mitts.
He'll take the post route. He has his man beaten badly. Heupel throws this one. Wow, what a grab. I knew it was a difficult catch because Heupel led him. He had to use that 4.4 speed. He's the 2nd fastest player on this team, but Josh Heupel says thank you.
Duncan for the point after, and it is good. And Oklahoma, first drive, gets a TD in the 3rd. 5 plays, 50 yards. Heupel, another TD pass. Oklahoma, the 35-7 lead on Fox Sports Net. 5:51 to go in the 3rd here at Owen Field, Memorial Stadium. University of Oklahoma and Arkansas State. Bill Land, Dean Blevins, and Gary Reasons with you. Following the timeout, Arkansas State faced with a 4th and 8 at the 29 of Oklahoma, and 5:51 to go. Up-to-date stats: OU 99 rush, 254 through the air. Heupel, 3 TD passes. Right now, they're trying to put the clamps on Lemon out of the shotgun. Kilo in motion. Jones goes with it. Lemon, good protection. Underthrown. Kilo was the intended receiver. Jones on him. And it makes it a 4th down situation, and see if we get Nick Gato out. He had a 24-yard field goal last week.
That was well defended all the way around. Kind of a force, and
as they set up for Oklahoma taking over here, let's go down now quickly to Gary Reasons.
Bill, I'm joined here by Randy Evans, a new ladies soccer coach here at the University of Oklahoma. You're in your 2nd season here. Tell us a little about your program this year.
Oh, this is an exciting time for Sooner soccer. We just opened up a new facility last night. We had a terrific crowd, had about 1,000 people out to watch us play. The team is improving, making great strides. We're an up-and-coming program, something to watch.
Well, good. You host Alabama tomorrow, I understand, at 1 o'clock here?
Yeah, game against Alabama. They're traditionally a top 20 team. The way we've been playing, we got a great shot to upset them.
Well, we wish your program a lot of success this year, and come out and support the Sooners tomorrow.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Gary, and thanks, Coach Evans, for stopping by. That is a beautiful setup they've got there south of the stadium out toward Lloyd Noble Center. Oklahoma completing that pass to Smith, I believe it was, on the first down, and now a 2nd and 2 after the 8-yard gain, but here's a flag.
Dead ball, false start on the offense. Still 2nd down.
Mark Mangino is the offensive line coach and the offensive coordinator, and he's hiding behind Hibble there, but he won't hide behind him very long. There's Mark. What a
great guy.
Jovial fella and a great offensive mind.
Yeah.
But the first year in charge of the offense.
Oklahoma Fagan in motion. They come to that side, and Norman is stopped. And gang tackled, still not brought down, but they'll whistle it dead at the 27, maybe 26-yard line. And Reed and Fuller, and we had the chance to watch some videotape here yesterday, Dean, and Coach Mangino came in and said, we asked him if he could help us. He goes, I don't know if I know anything more that can help you guys out. Come on.
He is a very regimented guy, as this play did not go anywhere, but he was with Bill Snyder for a while and did a terrific job up there, and is enjoying it here at Oklahoma.
3rd and 12 on 27. Piper drops it off. This is Griffin. Got some blockers and is brought down at the 35-yard line. It'll be a punting situation for OU, 4th and 4.
Oklahoma had some really good news a couple of days ago from the NCAA as they granted Jamal Brown. He is now eligible. He was a point shy on his ACT test, but it appealed to the NCAA, and he is now eligible. He had surgery. He's the 6'7", 300-plus pounder of Lawton MacArthur, a defensive lineman. Had surgery on his knee a couple of weeks ago, and good chance that he won't play this year but be redshirted. And I'll finish the point in a minute about the other player involved.
Ferguson, a terrific punt. He goes into the end zone, a 65-yarder, and it'll be a touchback, come out to the 20-yard line. Stay with us, Oklahoma 35, Arkansas State 7. Welcome back, 35-7 Oklahoma, 20th ranked Sooners leading it here with 3:22 to go in the third. Have a little Oklahoma flashback, but my partner Dean, you're going to have to help me with on this one because I have not seen the video. So, that looks like number 2, and that's not Derek Strait.
Hey, well, that was about the extent of it. Nice pitch to Billy Sims. Hey, that's Steve Rhodes going all the way. You know,
he wasn't bad either, was he?
No, and when you threw one pass a week, you usually had receivers open. Elvis Peacock wasn't a bad player, first-round pick. So far, you've just shown nothing but Heisman Trophy winners and first-round picks. Why'd you guys win? Well, talent.
Still comes down to players. Better recruit, number 1. 1st and 10, ball on the 20 here for Arkansas State. Adams back in. Not much that time. Yard or 2. Jones again on the play, and Ante Jones, Marshall. Torrance Marshall from Miami, Florida, missed the game last week with a 1-game suspension. Same for Everidge. And this week, that's the case for tight end Matt Anderson for breaking a team rule. 2nd and 8 to 22. Play action, Lemon. Kilo stays on his feet and cuts it back up across the 40, and the first down. Heck of a run by Robert Kilo after the catch. Marshall brought him down.
With number 2 on number 2 that time, and the 2 in white was the clear winner. Torrance Marshall there 10 with a great hit, but Kilo runs a great route. Heinke gets pressure in the backfield, and he will actually end up coming back and being involved in the play later. But anyway, straight, Bill, he was in pretty good position on the play, but got beat by a terrific throw and a terrific route, but then didn't get the tackle, and that's what hurt.
2:16 and counting in the third. 1st and 10 at the 43. Arkansas State last time turned it over on downs deep in OU territory. Here's one that's picked up by Thatcher, and he stepped out of bounds, but the interception will count. Now, flag is thrown. It's in the backfield. OU hoping that's a holding call, maybe against.
It will be a
Indians.
holding call.
Yeah. Against
Corey Heineke. Mr. Garrett Jones, 68's been doing a little holding.
The offense, decline, first down.
Well, Thatcher had an interception last week. He's had a punt return for a touchdown tonight. Another interception here. I think he might get a game ball.
May get a Big 12 award as well. Great hands, just great hands. You see Derek Strait there going, come on,
that was mine.
Pitch it out, or pitch it out. Keep it going.
It's a team deal, right? Come on.
Corey Heineke's over there saying, man, that guy's been throwing me down all night long. Garrett Jones, 68 white, was found guilty of holding.
Donnelly in motion. Heupel hands it off. Works to the 44. Ronaldo works. The rushing game for Oklahoma tonight has been led by Griffin. 9 carries and 53 yards. Last week he had 9 for 28. Works getting his 5th carry of the night.
Damian Mackey hobbling off, so the Sooners with a couple of one ankle injury earlier to Klein, and then Mackey off.
Works 17 yards rushing. Trips left this time. Woolfolk, Savage, and Norman. Donnelly to the right. Heupel to throw on 2nd and 8. And complete across the 35-yard line. That's Donnelly. Lance Donnelly, true freshman from Weatherford, Oklahoma.
And Bill, he's taking advantage of not only Matt Anderson out with the suspension that you mentioned, but Chris Hammonds, the terrific other tight end for Oklahoma, is a little gimpy right now with a knee, and he's out. So Lance Donnelly, they are very, very high on him, one of the 5 true freshmen to play, and he has come on strong early here in the fall.
1st and 10 to the 33 after that catch by Donnelly. Works. Looking for a hole and turns it up to the outside. And Ronaldo steps out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Charles Mabry, inside linebacker from Houston, Texas, made the tackle. Led him last week with 10 stops.
17 Woolfolk played offense, caught a touchdown, played defense. Can he block? Let's watch him block as...
Trying to get Chris Jones.
He tried to get there. You know, one of the things you can do in blocking is push. You can actually use your hands to push in most cases, and sometimes guys do that and you think it's a penalty.
2nd and 4. Works. Got caught up trying to scamper to the outside and actually tripped off the back of Donnelly, I believe. And Davis gets credit for the tackle. 38 seconds and counting remaining in the 3rd period, with the Sooners the only score in this 3rd period on their first possession. Heupel to Woolfolk for the TD pass of 35 yards. Josh is 22 of 29 for 275 and 3 scores. one better yard-wise than what he did a week ago.
Mosey right there.
Heupel. Savage. Flag thrown. Got enough for the first down. Both coaches will say post-game, we've got to clean it up penalty-wise next week, as this one against Oklahoma. Bob Stoops.
Pass interference on the offense. Repeat third down.
So we'll do it over again. You see Heupel's body language tells you a little bit there that, come on, fellas. Trying to get that rhythm back in this offense.
Could have been a push-off they called on Antoine Savage. 6 on the outside. Crowd trying to come alive. Bill, what's happening here? Is this the wave?
Yeah, we are going back at the time tunnel. They're saying, come on. I mean, isn't it funny? Crowd antsy over 35-7 game. I mean, just they were spoiled a little bit last year with this offensive explosion that last week they get 55 and people say, is that all? Well, stay with us. There's more to come. Fourth quarter coming up. Oklahoma's we get ready to start the fourth, up 35-7 over Arkansas State.
Bill, a quick injury update here for Oklahoma. Corey Klein, defensive end, is going to be able to go back in the ballgame. They've retaped him. He's available to play. Damian Mackey wasn't his ankle, Dean, but rather a hamstring injury. He's up and moving around.
3rd and 21. Oklahoma completes it to the 25-yard line, a couple shy of the first down.
What a reception by Woolfolk. That ball looked like it was going to be intercepted as Heupel is on the money, Bill, but he throws it into coverage and assumes that his man is going to continue his route. And we'll have to look at his hand. Gary, just stay on that sideline, please.
His right wrist, it appears, maybe when he tucked it in over the ball, he was holding it as he ran off. 4th and 2 at the 25 for the Sooners. Trying to get him to jump. Flag is thrown.
Yeah, they're looking at his right wrist for sure down here, Bill. He came off the field really nursing his right arm, and the trainers are taking a quick look at him here. He hasn't moved his right arm and wrist since he came off the field, and obviously in pain.
False start on the offense.
Penalty hurts. That's against OU. As you look at Woolfolk, who's got 2 touchdown receptions, and wow, he is hurting.
Interesting call there, booing from the OU fans, but there's a new rule in college football this year where they do not allow defenders to have an unnatural move and try to pull the offense off sides. But on the other side of the ball, they're watching the quarterbacks more closely and not letting them bark and move their head more than they should to draw the defense off sides. And that's that new rule having effect right there.
Duncan now goes for the 47-yard field goal, and it's going to be well short. So Oklahoma, the penalty, a big, big play there as the Sooners, and Duncan has now missed a couple. See, he's not happy with himself.
No, you know, he missed the earlier extra point when he pulled it, and when Tim Duncan catches the ball, he can kick it out of sight, but doesn't always catch it squarely. And Oklahoma very interested in what's happening right there with Woolfolk, who has had a terrific night.
Yeah, right now, see, Bob Stoops not happy either, but right now, what's going on with Woolfolk is much more important than what's going on the field.
Absolutely.
Because if a two-way, three-way performer, you count special teams like you mentioned earlier.
Those shrieks of pain are not good news.
Mabry on the hit on that play. Here comes Arkansas State. Lemon going for broke. And it is caught. Incredible. Higginbotham was there as well as Kilo, and Higginbotham came down with a football. We do have a flag. He may have passed the line of scrimmage. I'm not sure.
Well, that was some athleticism.
That was a throw
on Lemon's part.
Illegal formation on the offense.
Oh, that ought to count just because it was so pretty and so doggone athletic.
You've got to have 7 men on the line of scrimmage. Hollis really upset about that, as he would have had a chance to get some points here. That had to be what it was. I didn't think that Lemon was past the line of scrimmage. Bill, he used great mobility to get away from Heinke. He's running to his left as a right-hander. That's a difficult throw, and he throws the ball about 65 yards.
Yeah, just adding up here. Incredible throw. You see Woolfolk with the tape, trying to see what kind of flexibility he's got.
Well, you know when you see a player on the sideline, their face is just grimacing when they move it around. That can't be anything but that.
Adams on the 1st and 15 brings it out to the 28-yard line. Picks up 3. Kalmus in on the stop for the University of Oklahoma. Rocky, junior from Jenks.
You know, the truth is that had Oklahoma taken advantage of all of its opportunities tonight, they easily could be up about 56-7, and perhaps Woolfolk wouldn't be in that situation.
But instead, it's 35-7 with 13 minutes to go to in the football game. 2nd and 12 for the Indians. Adams, good forceful run. Out to the 34. Adams stopped by Torrance Marshall again, as well as Ante Jones. Corey Klein is back in for Oklahoma, so that is good news. He had 5 tackles last week, one of them for loss.
Good look there at Klein, Bill. This is a kid that is really developing into a nice player. He was redshirted last year as a freshman, but he's got good quickness and speed. He's a 4'8", 840 guy, a little smaller than you like up front at 270 pounds, a quiet, tough player. And Bob Stoops mentioned the other day, he said, I just love to watch this guy play. He's very active and plays hard every snap.
3rd and 6. Lemon. Somebody got a hand on it. I think Heinke may have got a touch coming from the end. Yep. And Corey, nice job there. Well, we were talking earlier about players from the past, players from the present, and recruiting in the state of Oklahoma. When you look at Klein and of course, Callens and Kalmus, the guys from Jenks and Union you think of, but also works out of Booker T. Washington. Oklahoma, for a few years, Dean, was not getting all of the players in state even.
Well, in the old days, it was you got the players in the state you wanted, you got the players in Texas that you really wanted, and then you started losing some players in Texas. But then when Oklahoma started losing players in state by the numbers, that's when it hit the bottom. But
ball bounces out at the 25.
They're getting a lot of the players they offer scholarships to.
Stay with us. A timeout. We'll be right back here in Norman.
Здравствуйте, дорогие друзья. Итак, мы с вами в Хабаровске на чемпионате по пощечинам. Сейчас видно, что чемпионат пройдет великолепно. Уж так сильны оба претендента. Итак, смотрим. Уже сейчас видно, что чемпионат пройдет великолепно. Как и обещали нам его организаторы. Единственный претендент на чемпионский титул Розановский без...
Welcome back. Oklahoma 35, Arkansas State 7. We continue to look back at some of the great tradition of Oklahoma. How can you mention Oklahoma football and not mention Bud Wilkinson in his era from 1947 to 1963? And the Sooners rolled to 145 victories and 3 national titles under the great Bud Wilkinson.
I watched the game the other night in full replay of the 56 championship team, and there's players thin that could play.
Speaking of play, here's Oklahoma again, and off to the races. Works to the 10, the 5. I don't see any flags. Touchdown, Sooners. Ronaldo works.
He gets help from the offensive line, but he also does some things on his own. When a crack is there, you've got to accelerate through it. He has great vision here, cuts back, and shows speed. And, Bill, I think he's out to prove that last week was no fluke.
No. He was prepared and ready. This week, Arkansas State knew all about him. They were ready, but nobody could handle that 80-yard run, nor Duncan's point after. And Oklahoma Well, first play of the second quarter, they had the touchdown pass. First possession of the third quarter, touchdown pass. And here's Woolfolk to start the fourth with 11:45 to go and breaks it for 80.
Toss sweep. Kempnick, we talked about earlier, hasn't been playing as well as he would like. 72 gets a good block on the outside, and the rest is Ronaldo Works. And Bill, although Ronaldo Works doesn't have the blazing speed, he is a guy that's going to run a little bit slower than 4.5, but still it's fast enough. He plays faster than his 40 time. You know, you see some guys that are the speedsters at 4.35 and a 40, but they don't play that fast. This guy plays fast.
Well, he's one of those guys you don't see him get caught.
No.
And no matter what the clock may say on him, when there's somebody chasing you, they say you run a little faster.
Yeah.
Well, he's one of those guys.
Well, and I bet
the watch.
He seems like a guy that has the burst from 0 to 10 or 0 to 20. And we've mentioned he came in as a true freshman and set the record for the lateral, for a couple of the shuttle runs. And that means all the players that have been here the last couple of years, he came in the first time he ran it and set the record.
Bill, when you see a freshman run like that, I think Andre Woolfolk's hand feels just a little bit better. They've checked him here on the sideline. He is playing with a previous injury from the last week's ball game. I think he may have been actually playing with a fracture in that hand. Still taped up. Questionable whether he's going to return to the game. But I know his spirits are lifted with that touchdown.
42-7 in the kickoff to Arkansas State. Higginbotham to the 10 and racked there.
Now there's an example of, and you have a penalty probably sticking Arkansas State back even further. Now there's an example of what I think this staff has brought to this club. It's attention to detail. It's accountability. It's discipline. It's 42-7 with a little over 11 minutes to go in a game that you could be really relaxed right now. These guys, not only does he kick it into the end zone, into the wind, but the coverage was just terrific.
Yeah, it's not, okay, we had the 80-yard touchdown run. Let's go ahead and relax. No,
on the receiving team,
and
half the distance to the goal, first down.
Number 40 for Bob Stoops. And he knows the tradition here. We were talking a moment ago about Bud Wilkinson and the national championships, 14 conference titles, and of course the incredible 47-game winning streak are certainly just a few of the things that Coach Wilkinson is remembered by, not only here at Oklahoma, but nationally in college football.
Well, he still has family in this area, and they are class people, and Bud Wilkinson was filled with class, and people I know who did business with him afterwards said the same thing. What a wonderful gentleman he was, and a fabulous football coach.
1st and 10 from the 6. Arkansas State just trying to get a little running room. Gives it to Jonathan Adams. He bowls his way out to the 11.
You know, Gary Reasons mentioned that the Woolfolk hand had been previously hurt. And isn't it amazing that he was making catches like he made tonight with that hand in bad shape?
That touchdown grab that, I believe it was him. We've seen enough of them tonight. They're all running together. But I think it was his 19-yarder where he just reached out and it was like he had a magnet in his fingers. It was incredible.
474, almost 300 for Heupel in the air tonight.
Last year, OU averaged 427 per game total offense. No running room this time for Adams.
Well, Rocky Kalma shot through there that time. You think he's taking a play off? This guy is a warrior. You talk about guys playing faster than their 40 time. Here's a guy that's 4.75, but that didn't look like it there, did it?
Well, he's just a football player, period.
Yeah.
What do you need?
You saw him back as a kid, didn't you?
No, I was fortunate to watch him back at junior high. He didn't take a genius then to figure out he was going to be a star.
Well, then you fit that role, didn't you?
Boy, I set myself up for that.
Repeat, second down.
Never been so glad there was a penalty.
You know, Bill and Dean, I think that Mike Stoops and Brent Venables, the defense coordinators here from Oklahoma, have got to be very pleased with their defense. You know, I think I see these guys really running the football and laying some leather. The contact is very, very strong down here. These guys come up and they hit. You look at what they've done. They've really exploded these receivers from Arkansas State. They're making their presence known, and if they want to contend in the Big 12, they're going to have to play physical defense, and they're showing they can do that.
A good point, Gary. I think that's something that Dean, you start on a little bit about as a carryover that, all right, you can't just turn it on when if they do get through Rice and Kansas and then, okay, now it's Texas, now we play 4 quarters. No, and Bob Stoops and his crew are letting them know that starts from the get-go.
Well, this bunch is smart enough to know that Oklahoma can't look past really anyone, and you have to play well in all phases, but don't kid yourself, they would like for the crescendo to be in the Cotton Bowl.
2nd and 11. Well, a little bit of a crescendo from the crowd here on that play as Oklahoma again stuffing the run and Walker.
And speaking of the Cotton Bowl, Texas rolling today 52-10. Chris Sims starts, interception, come on, Major Applewhite. Unbelievable. Bill, a couple of scores from the league. Clemson all over Missouri, the final 62-9. Nebraska escapes in overtime at Notre Dame 27-24. And also, the other score is that Texas Tech barely got by North Texas, and Oklahoma State by 14 over Tulsa in the 4th.
Major Applewhite, a 300-plus day for Texas, by the way, if you're following that who's number 1 deal there. 3rd and 12 here, and Adams gets back to the line of scrimmage. Well, he got a yard or 2, but back to the original line, and they're in big trouble now as Marshall made the tackle. It's 4th down.
Bill, it isn't much different than Matt Brown's situation with Major Applewhite and Chris Sims. If you said, okay, at Oklahoma, Josh Heupel gets hurt in the bowl game, and he can't come back in the spring and play. Now, you've got Hibble, a guy that has all the potential in the world, and he plays well in the spring. I don't know that they give him the start here in the first game. I think Matt Brown's a terrific coach. I wonder, though, about that decision.
Very bold. The punt. Shatley. OU stays away from it, and they're going to get great field position around the 40, maybe the 35. Stay with us. Timeout called. 9:19 remaining in this one. 42-7 Sooners. Torrance Marshall squinting to see the scoreboard, says 42-7. And we'll show you one of his fine plays in a moment here. Oklahoma first and 10 from the 37 after the short punt. And down to the 30, 29, loose ball, but I think they whistled it dead, and Oklahoma good position there on Norman's play.
Watch Marshall here. What a great job of lateral pursuit. Fundamental, great position, now attack. He's been in all over that ball. Here's a guy with such athleticism. His vertical jump ties the highest on the team at 39 inches. I mean, that is high. He and Quentin Griffin have that. He's a guy that needs to work on some zone drops. 13 tackles tonight, but he can hit some people.
8:43 to go in the game. 2nd and 2 on the 29 now of Arkansas State. Heupel with Griffin. He moves to the left. Donnelly comes in tight on the right side of the line.
3 rush with a four-man rush.
Griffin made 1 miss, but trying to stretch it out, couldn't do it, and he's brought down on the play by Arkansas State. Johnson makes the stop. Lenny Johnson, number 37, a redshirt freshman from Beaumont.
This will be the last series, in my opinion, for Josh Heupel, regardless of what happens. Mark Mangino wanting to get a lot of game-like situations, and this is game-like because it is a game. But, you know, you want to get as many reps as you can with your guys, but he wants to see Nate Hibble and the other players in there.
And we saw a little bit of Hibble last week, but it was in a situation where Oklahoma wasn't really trying to tack on another one when you only got 55, so maybe we'll get a chance to see more of his arsenal tonight. Heupel, speaking of which, to Savage at the 25, and he's brought down there. Got 1 more maybe, and that'll move the chains for the Sooners. Up 42-7. Antoine Savage, 31 receptions last year, a freshman record. Led the team at 13.7 per catch. And he had 5 for 87 in a TD last week. And again, Arkansas State with another player down. That is Ojabeda. Josh Heupel, we update you on the 300-yard passing games. And Josh with 8. Applewhite picked up 1 today.
Coy's done. Major's not. At least he hopes he has a few more 300-yard games, and that does include his today. You know, Savage was the receiver on that play, and all these receivers at Oklahoma, 4 of them, and Bill, they had 5 red shirts who they're high on, so the receiver position is pretty good. Savage is the guy they think has a chance to be the go-to big play player as well.
1st and 10 to 24. Works. Shows you a little of that lateral and balance ability as he cuts back across the 20 down to the 17-yard line.
He has some nice guns on him running there, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
When you hear guys talk about guns, there's two kinds, but this is the good kind right there.
Cotton brought him down that time, and it sets up 2nd and 3. Ball on the 17. Works 9 carries, 103 yards. Of course, he had the 80-yarder, but that's his first 100-yard game, so he's already topped last week's great effort. Timeout called. We'll keep it right here with the Sooners rolling at 42-7. Oklahoma jumped out to a 28-0 lead before Smith's 32-yard run made it 28-7 at the half. And Josh Heupel, among the record setters, or record tires tonight, if you will, with 3 touchdown passes and 35 for his career, tying the OU record that Coach Cale Gundy had set back 90-93. And you mentioned that was a 4-year deal, and Josh, just the start of his 2nd season, assuming he stays healthy, and certainly all hope he does. What kind of standard is he going to set for those that follow him, even in this wide open offense?
Well, the standard Bob Stoops would like him to set is by example, is by leadership. And not to be redundant, but you've got a kid who is very genuine and who is unselfish and just exactly the type of guy that you want as a quarterback of your club.
Bill and Dean, you know, Josh Heupel, he set some goals this year, and actually for their team, they were talking about winning the Big 12 Conference is their primary goal this season. You know, he made mention that twice teams that he was on, they actually lost the last game of the regular season where he could have won a conference title, and Josh Heupel has been denied of that. And he feels, and the team feels, that there's a sense of urgency to complete that, and they're trying to get this program headed in the right direction. Obviously having a little success here, and Bob Stoops has to be very pleased with how his program is going tonight.
Ball on the 17, 2nd and 3. Works close to the first down, to be a little short as he's down to the 15. Mabry made the tackle.
This staff turned the quarterback quandary into something really nice very quickly, and they're all similar. Now, this doesn't have Patrick Fletcher, who would be the 3rd quarterback in this type of situation, but look at these sizes. All around 6'2", all around 215, body fat anywhere from 7 to 11, and then they all run in the 4'6", 4'8" range. The best of all of those, though, I mean, in every category, Nate Hibble was a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, a little bit faster, jumped a little bit higher.
And when you talk to Chuck Long or Mangino or Stoops or any of them that deal with those guys, they go on and on about every one of those players, and then they even mentioned us. We were kind of going down the line the other day, and they said, well, don't forget Patrick Fletcher, because if something happened right now, he'd be our number 3 quarterback.
Well, the one that some fans may not be familiar with was Hunter Wall. I know you've seen him down in Capel, down in the Dallas area, a very good basketball player and a potential quarterback here.
Here's Works, makes another miss, and squirts down to the 6-yard line before he was forced out of bounds. He does have that acceleration, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Point and you think, all right, he's going to be corralled here. And made not a great run, but hey, a positive run and knocking on the door again.
Well, I think a test of any player, but of a running back certainly, is to get the most out of every situation. And the play before this, Bill, when I think he picked up 3 yards, a lot of backs going to make 1. Almost a block in the back there. Hollis was wanting the call by Jarvis Smith on the sideline.
2nd and 3 from the 6. Stopped at the 8-yard line. This time Works. Forward motion, loss in the play, and J.C. Miller made the tackle. Well, we've been throwing you numbers tonight. Coach Switzer put up his share, didn't he, with the 3 national titles and winning percentage of 84, 12 Big 8 championships, and I won't go on and on, but not in the College Hall of Fame. It's not a Hall of Fame. 3rd and 6 from the 9. Heupel, plenty of time here, lofts it. Donnelly fighting Jones for it off both of their hands, it appeared, and Lance Donnelly unable to come up with it.
Well defended, but let's watch this again and watch Lance Donnelly right down here. He's got basically man coverage where Heupel will throw it high and Donnelly has to go get it. And this is a good young athlete. I stress the word young because I think in another year he gains his composure and is able to use his vertical leap and able to go up and get that.
Certainly more likely to make that catch then.
Right.
At the 16, a 26-yard field goal attempt from Duncan. He's had kind of a rough night. He hits this one though, and Oklahoma tacks on 3 more to make it 45-7 here in the fourth quarter.
Snappers get no credit. Second time tonight we'll credit Ben Painter, though. Perfect snap. He has had nothing but perfect snaps in his career at Oklahoma. Fletcher holds and the good kick. It takes all of it working in unison, but it starts with a snap. And, you know, Arkansas State, Bill, has a terrific snapper of their own. They've had no problems with their guy. And their snapper is Jack Wright, terrific player. Unfortunately for Arkansas State, he hadn't been snapping a lot on extra points tonight.
No, just the one touchdown that came back in the first half. You see Duncan happy that he got one right here. And it's 4:46 to go and 45-7 Oklahoma, as the Sooners will take a week off next week before they take on the Rice Owls. And then it is Big 12 play.
I've circled or tried to Brent Venables right there. He's the co-defensive coordinator. This is Jonathan Hayes right here, former Kansas City Chief tight end, and a guy that Bob Stoops hired even though Jonathan had no coaching experience. And he's done they're so happy with him here, especially with the special teams. He has tight ends and special teams, and it was just a 180 from what had been happening here.
And there's Venables, and he again part of that K-State group that came in here that helped turn things around. And Nate Hibble loosening up, and we'll see if he comes in on the next Oklahoma possession. Yeah, talking about Hayes, Dean saw the story about Trent Smith that was one of the local papers here, and he was going on and on about all the little things that Hayes has been able to teach the tight ends. That's kind of unusual when a guy hadn't had coaching experience, to take a great player to become, I don't know, great coach, but solid teacher. A return to the 26-yard line by Higginbotham, and that's where Arkansas State will take over.
Well, I think Bob Stoops saw in Jonathan Hayes more important things than experience, actually. He saw a man of integrity, and he also saw a guy who played that the players would look up to. Mm-hmm. And obviously, if you can play at that level and can communicate, you've got a real good chance of being a coach.
I was going to comment in about a player you had started telling us a little bit earlier about Jamal Brown becoming eligible. And as a result, it opens up a scholarship that they've been able to bring in. Is it Jarrett Estes out of Wichita Falls?
Exactly. He's a player who will now become a partial qualifier. He's enrolled. He will practice with the club. And he's someone, you talk about speed, I think he would be in a different category than anyone wearing crimson right now. Bob Stoops is really excited about him, Bill. He's a 6'1", 190-pound player that has a chance.
So trying to keep OU fans up to date, and it's not easy around here these days. Andy Shatley is the new quarterback, as we saw him earlier punting. Junior from Jonesboro, handed off to Adams that time, and it's 2nd and 11 after the loss of 1 for the Indians with 4:11 remaining in the football game. And here's how it's gone tonight. OU the first 28, and then Smith the 32-yard run, and then OU pitching the shutout in the second half so far. Ball on the 25. Kilo in motion behind Shatley on the long count. Play action and rolls out. Kilo, a sliding grab short of the first down at the 33-yard line, and the tackle or the stop made by Brandon Everidge.
I think it's pretty clear that this guy here can play some football. Kilo with a little out move. And with his speed, you have to play off of him enough that he's going to have a little room between himself and the defender most of the time.
Kilo is 10th grab of the night.
Yeah.
108 yards. There you see it. And Higginbotham with 4 for 20. So they've done a pretty good job of trying to get those guys the ball and more touches tonight that Joe Hollis had wished. They just have not been able to make a dent in the OU offense. Heupel's 301-yard night for 3 touchdowns, and 24 of 32. 3rd and 3. Shatley looking for a man, and it is incomplete and well covered on the play. Ante Jones all over Alvin Powell for Arkansas State.
Well, that was really well done by Ante Jones. This is a guy that has all the physical tools, and he was locked up in man coverage there. He's bounced around. John Blake had him playing a quasi-linebacker, and he's played elsewhere in the secondary, but at corner that time, he did not get his eyes caught in the backfield. He used his feet. He didn't look back too early. He was in perfect position, almost made the interception.
Jones, 6 games last year, had the ankle problem. The year before, had 117 tackles. He's a second-team all-conference pick.
He's physical.
4th and 3 from the 33, and Shatley will just step back and punt it away now. It's a good kick. You know who's back. Thatcher, 19, 25, still tugging away and gets near the 30-yard line. J.T. Thatcher had the 66-yarder for the TD earlier tonight.
Bill, I guess when you're 213 pounds, you can go north-south pretty effectively. And
I guess that's effective. 159 punt return yards, new Oklahoma record. Well, Bob Stoops said he wants special teams to improve. There's part of your answer.
Well, you know, there have been some guys around here that have returned some punts, some Tommy McDonald's and some Joe Washingtons and some Greg Pruitts.
And then even last year, of course,
Joe Wiley's
with both the kick and punt return last year. Brandon Daniels.
Yeah. Jarrell Jackson.
Super. So Nate Hibble enters the lineup, the sophomore from Hazelhurst, Georgia. He hands it off on his first attempt. And Oklahoma, flag is thrown as moving it out to the 34-yard line.
Good look at Nate Hibble there, and Mark Mangino, the coordinator offensively, was saying a couple of days ago that, you know, he got in late in the game, in the first game, and he didn't want to run the score up. You know, Mark said, we got 55 points or close at it at that time. But he said Hibble would look over at him in between plays, and he'd nod his head up.
On the offense, repeat first down.
Was that gesture meaning, can we throw it, please?
Yeah, please, can we throw it? And Mark says, you know, I want him to throw it. He may need to, but that wouldn't be a good look.
There's Mark Mangino, and we really appreciate all of the help of the coaches, both schools, particularly here at Oklahoma, that have been so helpful with us and letting us know what's going on and
must be a little
themselves available.
Yeah, it must be a little cooler on the sideline. He's still got that coat on.
I don't think I need that. 2:46 remaining. 1st and 20 now. The ball on the 19 after the penalty against the Sooners. And Oklahoma keeping on the ground with Griffin. Well, the penalties are certainly not something that either one's going to be happy about, as the totals on that now. 14 penalties for Arkansas State, 11 for Oklahoma. Hogan made the tackle that time as Hibble looks for the signal.
Well, that's 2 consecutive games that Arkansas State's had 14, although they did have the double overtime. Steenhook, Eli Steenhook, number 5, out on the left flank. And I would think that Hibble will have a chance to chunk it.
2nd and 18. Hibble finds a tight end to the 29-yard line. Tackle is made there.
Well, Bill, you and Dean are talking about Nate Hibble throwing the football. Obviously, he can get the job done as he delivers on that pass. But the fans here in the stands here this week and last week as well, all of the time there, whenever he gets into the ballgame, they're saying, we want Hibble to pass. They know he has a strong arm. Dean, how would you rate his arm?
Well, his arm in terms of strength is plenty good. I mean, it's 9.95. I think his is more experience understanding this system. It's totally different than what he ran down at Georgia with Jim Donnan, and when he lost the job to Quincy Carter. It was more of a deep drop, deep pass offense, and this is more of a West Coast, make quick decisions, just like the one he's doing there.
And the completion here on a first down, Oklahoma. Steenhook takes it out to the 45. The last completion was to Jeremy Hess from Newcastle, Oklahoma. So some of the newcomers and the reserves get some action here.
This type of motion gets people excited. You have the physical ability, sits in the pocket, has good protection from the backup line. Good-looking throw in motion, and it didn't take long to get there, Williams. Steenhook on the receiving end again this week. He was the one who had the reception from Hibble a week ago. That's a dart.
And now, 1st and 10 at the 45 with a minute to go, and Hibble out of the shotgun.
You notice they wanted curl and not a deep route. I think they don't want to be accused of running it up.
Hands it off here to Griffin. It is a difficult position to be in, particularly in this style of offense, that you want to be able to work on the things that you do. On the other hand, certainly they want Josh Heupel to be in a groove. Some folks may have thought, well, why didn't you just play Hibble in the second half? Well, it was 28-7. It was a ball game at the half. Williams made the tackle or the stop that time, and it'll be 2nd down and 10 now with the clock moving. 23 seconds to go. And the ball on the Oklahoma 45.
Josh Tucker, the center for the Sooners right now. You know, Griffin has had a good night. He continues to hammer away inside as that will be the last play of the game, but I think his fire is lit, and Oklahoma had an overall good performance, not only from the backs, but everyone.
Joe Hollis will come over to congratulate Bob Stoops, and the Sooners win their 9th consecutive home game, and they start off the young 2000 season with a nice 2-0 with a 45-7 victory here following the 55-14 win over UTEP last week. The Sooners 45, Arkansas State number 7, and we'll be back to wrap it up in Norman in a moment. Welcome back. Final score, Oklahoma, the 20th ranked team in the nation, a 45-7 winner over the Arkansas State Indians. We're back at Owen Field at Memorial Stadium. Hi everybody, Bill Land and Dean Blevins with you. And Dean, a lot of records set again tonight. Your impressions of the OU win?
Well, Woolfolk had an outstanding game, played well defensively, over 100 yards receiving. They had to check his hand out. He caught a touchdown that was good. Josh Heupel, 6 scores on 11 possessions he was in, over 300 yards. I thought that maybe you have J.T. Thatcher as the player of the game, 159 yards returning punts. And defensively, Torrance Marshall's return was a major impact, 13 tackles.
And Works had the 80-yard touchdown run to boot. There's Woolfolk on one of his 2 touchdown receptions as Oklahoma wins it tonight 45-7. For Dean Blevins, Gary Reasons, and our entire crew, this is Bill Land saying so long from Norman. 45-7 Oklahoma over Arkansas State. You've been watching coverage of the University of Oklahoma on pay-per-view, produced by Fox Sports Net. So long, everybody.